Welcome to Aquarian Anarchy, everybody. I'm going to get this started with a prayer. I haven't rehearsed this or anything, so I'm just going to wing it. Here we go. I want to just be thankful for everybody who has come through in the last year plus, and so I'm going to try and do my best to send up a proper thanks for that. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Uh, I just want to thank thank God for bringing all of these wonderful people, these amazing people who have come into our sphere, for bringing them to us and for giving us the opportunity to share space with them and to share some of the conversations we've had with them and to build the solutions for what I think makes for a great future for humanity. And with that, we will get things started. This is Aquarian Anarchy. It's about to get lit, y'all. We will start things off with our quote. In times like we are living today, when the government is openly showing the world that it is nothing more than an instrument of force, violence, and tyranny, we should not find a safe space to hide. We, the free, need to stand, resist, and say in a loud voice, we know a better way that offers peace, cooperation, and love. Our way is voluntary, prosperous, and will end the chaos caused by the evil of the state. My friends, we have quite the show planned for you tonight. I don't know how this is going to go. I have no idea what's going to go down. No one's ever done anything like this before. We're having our Thanksgiving house party, an open house for all the anarchs, all the hoteps, all the everyone who has come through our sphere as a guest in the last year plus. And I just want to say thank you to every one of you for coming through and for coming onto this show here tonight. We're gonna have people coming in and out. For right now, you see myself, you see Marcus, you see Nico. Obviously, we have Cassius Cam, we have Black Mountain Hotep, Daryl, the Agorist Prepper, is here as well, and we got my man Hotep Dutch in the building as well, all the way from the Netherlands. He is on, I don't know what time it is over there, but it's
CPT time.
Really late. I'm sure it's really late over there. Thank you for staying up with us, Dutch.
What's good?
What's
What's
up,
good?
everybody?
It's 12 o'clock.
It's 12 o'clock. Oh, that's not that late. You got time.
Oh, how you gonna tell him that's not that late? What if the man got to get up in like 2 hours?
He doesn't have work tomorrow.
It's only midnight.
He already told me he doesn't have work. So, no. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. Trey, you were in here first. I want to say hello to you and give you a chance to just kind of share, like, what is this? I know not everybody necessarily celebrates Thanksgiving the same way, but you have had quite a year to be thankful for. You've got a nice little blossoming family, and I want you to have a chance to share that with us.
Oh, well, shit. It has been a blessed year for sure. I mean, I do have a lot to be thankful for. We've put in a lot of effort to do more for others this year. So I'm not going to harp on anyone, experiencing their blessings as long as they're doing good. But yeah, our baby girl's going to be 3 months old in how long? The next few days. So she's pretty much 3 months old. You know what I'm saying?
Blessings.
Nice.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Congratulations again, brother.
Of course, got the wife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Got the wife. She over there. She's drawing, trying to make some decorations for Kwanzaa. So.
Oh, there we go.
Right.
Hey, can you put me on? Because my dad trying to put up a Christmas tree, and I'm like, Dad, can we get over this?
Yeah, for real.
I'm over it.
Store bought or from nature?
The old generation is probably never going to get rid of that. They're probably going to do that. I've been harping on my mom forever. My mom's got all sorts of Egyptian iconography, all types of iconography from African spirituality. She still does Christmas every year.
That's tragic. That's tragic. Look, my mama ruined it for. No, she actually didn't ruin it. She blessed me because she was like, "Why would I give all the hard work and my dedication to you little ninjas, and give it to a white man who just decides to come down a Christmas tree or a chimney?" And we live in an apartment, nigga. So how that make sense? So I'm like,
for real. It's literally a tradition that involves withdrawing wealth from your family and putting you back 2 months or 3 months, depending on how deep your family is.
Facts.
Why is that even a tradition that we continue to uphold? I'm not with that, but others are. So,
For sure.
Yeah, not to knock away the
About it.
holiday joy or nothing like that, but can I at least get through Thanksgiving before y'all start throwing up these damn decorations?
that's right. That's right.
See,
Bro,
man,
you can't even get through like October with some of the people. It's like
see,
people
for
throwing
me,
up Christmas in
just
October.
culturally appropriate a Cuban deity and bring Shango up in there because that's a black dude and he is in red and white. And he brings joy and self-rulership to all of the world. So
Hey, but that's not
bring
a
that
black
dude in there. Culturally appropriate him. I do.
But he don't like sneak down your Christmas tree or sneak down
chimney.
and like chimney and then be like, okay, your mama worked her ass off and you barely saw her, but it's okay because I brought the presents. Please leave out.
For sure.
He doesn't have secret agents who sit on your shelves and watch your children and make them sick.
They do. Not in my house. They don't though.
That's a lot of mental anguish for a kid
All
to
right,
experience.
So Cassius Cam, tell us about how you have Elf on the Shelf and also Santa Claus is coming.
Oh
I'm
well,
just
I
joking.
mean, Christmas when you grow up with the alcoholic father, that whole Santa Claus thing dies really, really young. Because we caught him passed out eating cookies at like 4 or 5.
Santa's not supposed to do that.
That shit failed a long time ago. But hey, we do get together. My wife's Hispanic. We got a big Mexican family, so we do get together and grub. It's not like the corporate holiday where we break the bank, buying everybody gifts, but we do get together and eat, get fat. So
That's good.
We just got back from the range. We were shooting today. So
Hey,
that's what we do.
That's your Christmas ornaments.
Yeah.
Hey, wait. I think Marcus can help
casings.
me elaborate on this, but isn't it bad luck to cut down a live tree and throw it into your living room and let it die and wither and then throw it away
Put
later?
candles in it. Yeah, it's usually bad for your house.
Hey, look. All right, so
But don't forget they're celebrating don't forget they're celebrating a Middle Eastern baby. Don't forget that with all the Santa Claus and the snow and all that.
Listen.
Don't forget.
Jesus is white. Stop it, Marcus. Stop lying on Bill Gates' YouTube.
you trying to get that blue check or what? What's up, man?
That's right.
I know,
Look,
man. I
look,
know.
Once that ball starts rolling downhill, you gotta get a little piece of it.
Right.
All right, so let's
Depends on
go. Hotep Daryl, you're somewhere in the Midwest where it's 40 degrees or something like that. What you got going on, man?
Man, obviously, I could be thankful. I'm in God's country, as some call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, no, I'm super appreciative, especially this year. I mean, we've been probably all throwing more curveballs than we probably could have imagined starting last year, but I feel like we're at somewhat of a good place. Obviously we've got many more challenges to come, but I feel like it's only going to get worse before it gets better. So, and I feel like I'm in good company, and feel like as long as I spend my time in a productive fashion, I can't really go wrong, And if this is it, this is the last stand, then I want to at least say I'm glad to be in the company of you guys. So.
Word. No,
Well, we appreciate
that's really important that you say that, because that's kind of where I've been with this, is that like as tough as this has been, and as many different curveballs and challenges and obstacles that have been thrown up in front of us, right? The community that we have all become part of, whether it's through Hotep Nation or some of the other things, and like on this show, and like all of our friendships, all of these different connections that we've developed, like it has kept me like in the game. And it's been truly amazing to watch like the growth that I've seen with other people and the different things that they're doing, the good work that they're doing. Like Trey was saying, like it's hard to be like upset about, we need to move that. Let's get rid of that background altogether. There we go. So now we can see Cannon's face.
Beautiful faces.
Hey yo,
But the people who are really putting in the work, like we're putting in work. We're working together. We're offering each other solutions. We're all getting a little bit of like cross-pollination of like all the different skills and all the different mindsets and the different approaches to how to skin this cat there are, and it makes it a hell of a lot easier. Like I'm sure
Sure
there are a
does.
lot of people who are just in deep despair the last 2 years, and I don't find that a lot of us are, because we have each other.
That's right.
And we have been offering each other a ray of hope, but also like some paths and some solutions out of this stuff. And like Dutch, I want to go to you. You're over there in the Netherlands,
Yeah, do y'all
where it is
celebrate
wacko.
Thanksgiving?
How
Yep.
no, I just want to talk about like how all that stuff is affecting you, because like you're in a completely different universe from the rest of us. All the rest of us are in America. We, you know, it's a whole different ball game over there. How are you surviving
Yeah,
over there?
I mean, I'm in the land of compliance, really. So, but me personally, I've isolated myself from that. It's just me and my family and my work. So I'm not getting too much effect of it, and the people that I work with are pretty chill about it. But you know, everybody, you know, the conversation is all about, you know, if you took the Yamin or whatnot. That's the first thing they ask you. You know, as far as Thanksgiving, I have an American family friend that also lives here, and you know, unfortunately, the first thing they asked me was if I took it, and you know, for that reason, I was disinvited to this year's Thanksgiving. So you know, that was a, you know, it was a bit jaded feeling, because on the one hand, I'm like, okay, now I know where we stand. But on the other, it's like, damn, you know, this is how we find out, you know, where the true lines stand. So
Sure.
yeah, so I mean, it's a kind of defining point for many people. For me, I guess I've been retrospectively preparing for it for a few years now, because I saw it coming. But
Same.
you know, yeah. But to many people, it's like a shock. So
Right.
Yeah,
So-
that's sad.
I'm good, but I'm seeing the world kind of burn in front of me. Like the best way I could put it is the boiling frog. Like I see people, I see the frogs boiling, and they're like, "Ooh, it feels so good," but you're getting boiled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
it feels good until
The
you
with
become
the
frog legs.
For sure, and with that, you know, that's why they've done it the way that they have, is the, you know, if they, even with the like mass mandates and what have you, they of course didn't want us to see all of the shock of their plans, and because then we would have reacted immediately. And so that being said, I do want to, for our compliant people that might catch our show, I do want to point out something that Adam Kokesh said recently was, don't doubt that we won't open our arms to you when you realize I probably ought not have done that. You know, just because you make a mistake, even if it's one that's going to be detrimental to your health, even if you make a mistake, doesn't mean that you shouldn't be forgiven and that you cannot come around. So have prayers for those people. Have you know, because they likely have a troubled future on the way. So yeah, they can tell you can't go to Thanksgiving when they can't reproduce, or when they are not able to function, their heart muscle is weak, those kinds of things, and we're healthy. They're going to need our help, and
Exactly.
they'll know.
But that's the beautiful thing from where we come from, and the standpoints on how we stand is that even though we do not align in everything, even if you end up getting hurt, even if there's detriments to you and there's downfalls, we will be here as a stronghold to show you, yeah, you wanted us to die, but guess what? I'm not like that, and I want you to live.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is that like as upsetting as it has been to watch people actually call for people to either, you know, not be allowed into hospitals, not get treatments for whatever or anything like that. Like we can't become the things that we look at and we're disappointed in. We have to be the better people that we know we are. And I'm not saying like that to be like we're better than y'all or anything like that. I just mean like we need to be our better selves is what I'm
Facts.
talking about when I say that. So let's go. So we brought Augustus up. This is Augustus Palante. He's one of my friends from Clubhouse. We're going to get to him in just a second because we haven't heard from Cannon yet. But like we had too many black people on stage, so we had to get another.
Whoa!
No, no. It's all good.
Don't do it.
Augustus
First,
probably, Augustus is probably more. It's probably more like whoa. What the? Than anybody else.
Chaz is taking the heat off of Marcus for today.
That's right.
Right. It's not my job. Hey, although I am black from the waist down, I'm actually black from the neck down right now. Got neck going on.
Welcome to our Thanksgiving party. AnarcHotep. How you holding it down over there, man? Welcome. Thank you for coming through, bud.
No problem. I appreciate the invite. Now I'm just getting in the house. Had to take my daughter to get some shoes. She got straight A's, so I took her to get. Well, she wanted some skates, skates. So she went and got some skates. Yeah. So just getting back in the house. You know, nice little holiday weekend. Can't complain about it. You know, I was gonna before you said something, I was gonna stream tonight. I wanted to stream those poverty plates. You know what I'm talking about, Nico? Them plates that be on Instagram, yo, that everybody swear. It'd be like hashtag did that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they did.
With the overcooked shrimp that look like the shrimp from the Oodles and Noodles and stuff like that. You know how that goes. I'm gonna jump on there and start frying people for these plates that we putting online.
Oh, that's great. Well, so this is kind of cool. This is one of the things that I really wanted to happen as a part of this this effort to put this show together. Was we have all these different spheres of influence. So we have Cam, Trey, Nico, Daryl, Cannon, and Hotep Dutch, who've all come through like our connection to Hotep Jesus and like the Hotep Nation community and everything like that. Marcus and I met through Adam Kokesh and that campaign, and then Augustus and I met through Clubhouse. So like this is like for me seeing the three different little spheres of influence kind of all come together and coalesce, and like letting my friends get to meet each other is actually really cool. So like I'm really hyped to see like to have Augustus get a chance to experience some of you guys to hear how you guys get down, because I think it's a really cool overall community that like we all kind of like touch on together. Welcome to the stage, Augustus. Welcome aboard. It's almost like Clubhouse on StreamYard via YouTube. So thank you for joining us, man.
Yeah, man, my pleasure. Thanks for having me. Dope to be here.
Yeah, so we have quite a bit of like a nice little geographical swath here represented. I'm in Louisiana. Marcus is in Indiana. Nico is in Chicago. Cam, you're in Northern California. Trey, you're in Colorado. Yeah, so you're in Colorado. Daryl hails out of Miami, but he's like, I don't know where he is right now. Somewhere he says in the central time zone, and it's like 40 degrees. He drives trucks, so he's
you're not built for this weather. My bad, buddy.
That's well, I don't know. Where are you from, Daryl? Originally, like, you're not from Miami, are you?
Nah, man, I'm pretty American. You know, for the most part, really. I mean, I've lived in Florida for I'd say like the bulk of my life, but then again, it's like I've also lived in probably like 10 states growing up. You know, my family basically traveled a lot for work. So,
military or something else?
Well, we'll just say something.
You don't have to
say
say
something else.
Look,
yeah.
All right.
Hey, he's a
Daryl's
government
a Fed.
official.
Shut him down right now.
government official.
Well, it's too late now. I've already got everybody's IP address. But...
That's right. So we got Dutch from the Netherlands. We got AnarcHotep from Maryland, and Augustus hails to us from Philadelphia. So
hold up. For the record,
okay,
I am also from Maryland.
Oh, that's right. You're from Maryland
Oh,
too.
no, I got it tatted on my arm.
I forgot about that, Trey. I forgot you're from.
I forgot he's from round way. We
I forgot about that.
Stomping ground.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Hey, I want to make sure I noticed Nicholas Wildstar is in, and for that matter, one of our anarchs, Tim Free, is in the chat, and Tim can go to the
go to the
Anarch
Telegram
chat and get a link. And for Mr. Wildstar, I just sent you the link through Twitter.
Oh, let's go. All right, Nicholas Wildstar, come through, babe. Nicholas, if you don't know, Nicholas ran for and I think is running again for governor in California, trying to unseat one awful Gavin Newsom. Shout out to him for that. So Augustus, back to you. Like what has your like last couple of years been like? Because I think like I found the same sort of thing with the clubhouse community with the preservation of the human race, where with the club that you helped to found there, which what do y'all have, like we're at like 48,000 plus members now or something like that. The same as with the Hotep community, it's been like a tremendous source of like hope and like vision for me that has kind of kept me from what could be like a death spiral into insanity without the help of some of these people with the shit that's gone on the last couple of years. What is your experience as far as that's concerned? How has that connection with those awesome folks helped you?
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, if you want to go back 2 years, 2 years ago, I like definitely was not in the same place I'm at now. Like, I think like 2 years ago, yeah, man, I was definitely in a bad place, man. Like, I had like a lot of potential business, out of like a lot of potential networks and shit, but like I wasn't really utilizing any of them. And I think maybe like 18 months ago, I got kind of like sick and tired of fucking the lockdown and everything, and started to really like break out of just being in like this weird like toxic bubble of like living in a trap house and fucking having a toxic relationship and like fucking always falling short with work and like having a lot of big clients, but it's always like I'm scrambling and shit, and I can never like enjoy the success of fucking, you know, working with big name brands and like working with a bunch of big people as like an independent artist. So I think like 18 months ago I started to really like break out and made a few big goals for myself. Like I wanted to have like my own fabrication shop. So I was like utilizing those networks in like the fabrication world, and building movie sets and using lasers and 3D printers and fucking just mass production type shit, and working in the fashion world doing shit with like Adidas, and the art world doing shit with the Frida Kahlo house and Art Basel, and working with like bigger shit. And then last year I found Clubhouse. When I was utilizing those networks, one of my old managers like put me on to a Discord channel he made, and in that he was like, "Yo, we're doing like a music festival online. Come check it out." And it was like I stumbled into Clubhouse through trying to hear this fucking music festival my old manager fucking threw.
That's crazy.
And I like instantly fell in love with it. It was sick. And I was one of the first like 50,000 people on the app, and now there's like millions of people on the app. So I got to see from the beginning like what's really good in like the tech world, what's really going on in like just the world in general, because a lot of like the most powerful people were also beta testing it when I got on, and made a lot of big connections there. And I started a community called Preservation of the Human Race that Nebuchadnezzar, or Chad as you might know him, fucking mentioned. And this past year it's just grown and grown and grown, and I've been able to really utilize the networks that I have and actually follow through with some of the hard work that I put in 2 years ago to like, you know, start the foundation of having my own fabrication shop. So like just this past few months I bought an 8-foot by 4-foot laser, like brand new. It's $180,000. You know, so acquiring like, you know, or buying a fucking machine that's new, you know, around $250,000 was such a huge leap in the right direction for me, like outside of like social media. And And at the same time, I've been able to like use my networks in social media with like bigger names and like shit like that to actually like now be able to do jobs that I'm not scrambling for. I'm not trying to pay all this extra money out of pocket to do, and I could be happy with the success that comes with it instead of stressing the fuck out all the time, like just trying to get someone else's vision done and try to get everybody else's shit brought to light.
Yes,
that's kind of my job, and now it's like I can just kick back, do my thing.
Yeah. So for people who don't know. Yeah, for people who don't know, Augustus is an impressive dude. You heard some of the stuff.
Old motherfucker.
Yeah, you heard some of the stuff he's talked about, but like I'll just tell you, like, what was it, Wednesday or no? Was it last week that we did the RFK room? Anyway, just recently.
It was on 11/22, the anniversary.
Oh, it was okay. So Tuesday then.
JFK's
Tuesday.
Assassination.
Or Monday night. Yeah, 6 days ago on the anniversary of JFK's assassination. Augustus has been working for a little over a year, or roughly a year, with Bobby Kennedy III, and we got RFK Jr. on Clubhouse and actually got to interview him and had a really dope conversation. And he agreed that he's going to be coming back through. So like one of the things I wanted to do with this is not just about like a big part of what I wanted to do here, and Marcus and Nico, we kind of all had the same vision of like, we wanted to have this as a time to say thank you to all of the guests who we've had and bring them all through and have a chance to kind of come and share space. But I also wanted our guests and some of our loyal viewers and listeners like Hotep Daryl and Hotep Dutch an opportunity to share space with them, because I want us to be able to collaborate. I want people like Cannon and Dutch and Trey and Cam to have an opportunity to work with. If there's something where y'all see a connection where like what Augustus is doing sounds like it might be something that you feel like you could get down with, and maybe y'all might be able to work together. Or Trey and Cannon. I mean, I know a lot of y'all are already kind of connected, but I wanted to bring these different spheres of influence together to offer an opportunity to where like if y'all see something where y'all like, hey, I'm interested in that, say something about it and we'll link everybody up. I want to make sure that everybody knows that we can link people together so that if there's some work that can be done together to build whatever you're trying to build, we want to try to make that happen. So I want everybody to have an opportunity to do that, because I know we all have our own different little either our bread and butter projects that we do just to put food on the table, but we also have our side projects and our hustles and our passions. And I want to make sure that we have a chance to bring those together. So I want to treat this like we're all literally at like a big party in a house, and we're just talking and having these little conversations. And so if y'all want to, exchange business cards, network, feel free to do so. That's what this is all about. Right. So
I do want to add to that real quick, Chad. I also want to give because Chad's right. We really appreciate not only our loyal, audience, but also you guests. You work hard. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, these are the people who are actively working to try to bring a better life to the future, to bring freedom, to bring love, to bring happiness, those kinds of things into the world. And those are the things that should be rewarded and and raised up. And beyond that, to the point of, bringing people together, even the fact that we have all of these different people from different backgrounds coming together peacefully and saying, we will be free. Man, you can't beat that. You cannot beat that. That's what we need. We need more of this.
So now I'm just going to open it up. Y'all pipe up. We're going to do popcorn style now, like we do in Clubhouse or Spaces or whatever.
Hold on. I got one.
If anybody has something, just jump in and start talking. Go ahead.
Yo, Dutch, I saw on this news outlet that I follow on Telegram that in Holland that they taking down 5G towers. What's up with that?
I've heard of that also, but I mean, like if the 5G thing is like true, you're saying, or if it's true that they're doing it, because they're definitely doing it, and they're definitely there.
People don't just break shit for no reason unless you a terrorist or something. But it's just common folk, so you're not gonna label all them common folk terrorists.
Go ahead, Trey.
Go ahead, Trey.
All right, so check it. All right, I'm not gonna. I don't know a shitload, but because I did do some of them spaces with Shaka Amos.
Mm.
He's
Oh
still
yeah.
he's still doing them. He's still doing them, but I ain't got $20 every week,
You
man.
talking
I
about the Friday night?
invested in my business.
The Friday night joint,
I'm
yeah.
giving Hotep Nation Patreon money. I'm paying for Hulu and this and that. And, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I
Shit
appreciate
service
it
is
enough.
tight.
You feel me? So I mean, when I'm a billionaire, everybody can get their cut, but until then, you know what I'm saying? I gotta be selective. But anyway, check this out. So he was talking about the 5G and the views and things that I'm going to express. I will not certify as his words. I will just say I heard them from a man who might look like him. All right. So what we were talking about in there with the 5G is that they were saying that your sweat glands have a direct connection to the helical antenna that projects the 5G. And so, if you, and these are things you can look up, I did look them up, he even provided the resources. And so, a helical antenna is essentially the shape of a 5G antenna. All right. And there's different versions of antennas based on the frequency or wavelength they're trying to shoot out or whatever. Okay. And so, they say that the helical antenna is almost a replica of the same type of sweat or your sweat ducts. So let's say your sweat glands or your sweat ducts or whatever are shaped in the same shape as a helical antenna. And so I'm trying to pull up some of the things I took pictures of, but I think it'd be disingenuous to show you screenshots of the chat because this is information for myself. But this is stuff you can look up. This is you can look.
I got a PubMed article up right now about it.
Bang. So yeah. If you have something to add, let me know. But so this is what he's saying. He's saying that the helical antennas that your sweat glands are shaped like, and the 5G antennas, the way that they interact causes an emotional. Yo, what up?
What's going on?
Not much, man. We're talking about some tinfoil shit.
Hey, listen, get my kufi real quick. Hang on.
Hey, hold up.
Listen, you know I'm always ready for the tinfoil shit. I might go get a cake pan and put it on my head.
Hold on, wait a second. Hold on, wait a minute. No.
Oh shit.
I
got the tinfoil kufi on now.
Hey,
right,
can
so
somebody
I'm ready, Trey.
get me
Look
a stencil of the HJ Nation, and then I'll just make my tinfoil kufi.
You're gonna make your own? I can make you one and send it to you.
Oh,
Oh, you got the real John. Okay.
Well, right now, listen, brother. Listen now, brother.
Break it down.
Yo, so check it. So they were saying, let me stop. So
I gotta confess, I ate pork today. My bad.
Unclean, my brother. So they were saying that they were able to prove that the frequency 5G sends off can affect a human being because everything operates on a frequency. And they're saying that the 5G frequency interacts with humans the best because of the helical antenna connection. How much of that is true? I can't say. But they themselves say, and they themselves said that, listen, if we're going to do this, we should study this more because we have measured the effects on the human body based on these frequencies. That is a fact. And so those people were the people they made nut jobs, the ones who erred against it after working on these projects. And so do I believe personally that 5G can change the way a person acts? Yes.
Go watch
I agree with that though. So check it, right? So like my whole journey on my way to where I'm at now, I came across some articles about it, and I'm not sure if you ever heard of Truth Stream Media. So
yes,
it was pretty dope. I don't know if they do anything anymore, but also as far as with 5G concerned, it needs to have more towers in order for it to function. So for example, you know how they got them on the light poles? They have to be like every 200 or 300 yards, and they can only be within like I think like 10 or 12 feet off the ground, almost 15 feet off the ground. But they have to be so close, and then it needs a direct it can't go through brick and stuff like that. It needs like a direct source, like window or whatever to go through.
Yeah,
So
because the type of wave it is.
Yeah, exactly. So because it needs so many towers, and it needs to be so a lot closer to the ground than a normal tower does. That's another way how it affects the human body. Because like you were saying, like everything runs on frequency. Even our brain runs on frequency. So
Cam sending me the PubMed link. Damn.
yeah,
Bro,
so
this shit's
I pulled
wild. This
something
shit's
up.
wild, man.
If
I
I can
pulled
cut in
something up.
real
That
quick,
article is wild.
if I can cut in
Yeah.
real quick,
Yeah.
the reason why 5G is so harmful is because the conductor for 5G is you.
yeah,
See, your skin and the way the hair is in your skin and the way that your skin is set up almost looks like a conductor for electricity.
The helical antenna. That's what they were
It's the
saying.
helical antenna.
Yeah,
So when you look at it, like if you look at like say for instance like a grid, an electrical grid. The electrical grid and the way that electricity is conducted from place to place looks almost identical to what the skin looks like.
Right.
So they're definitely using us as the conductor.
Well,
And the
look-
thing
and
about
look
it
at-
is
look
the
at
frequency
the-
is so much higher, so that's why it's more of an effect on us as it was previously. It was a de minimis amount of electricity going through us previously, but now it's an amount of electricity that can affect us. It can control us. It can fuck with our central nervous system. It can bring cancer. It's a lot of different things that are starting to happen now
and that's
that
what
you're
I was
going to see.
Yeah,
I got a question then.
the three doctors that were saying this.
yeah, because like if you look at it, right, look at the cancer cases now since
Yeah.
5G has been up and running. It's
Virgil
it's through the
Agabalo.
roof. It's through the roof right now.
Yeah, he
You know what I
died
mean?
today. Rest in peace.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I did my own kind of research on it. So I went to see like what the actual the hertz are for each G. So it turned out. So I found out about the UHF, the S band, the microwave oven, how many gigahertz they are, and the FCC designated the 5G for like between 28 gigahertz and 31 gigahertz, and that's like comes to about the same as where the millimeter waves start. And the meter waves is where you get like the things like I mean, I'm not an expert, but the thing like active denial system. So it's actually the microwave oven is 2.5 gigahertz. So the 5G waves are actually more powerful than microwave. So if the microwave can pop your popcorn, since we're talking about popcorn talk, and this could definitely pop some shit in your brain. So I mean, by
That's
that
exactly
alone,
what I was gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
alone
Yeah,
to
because I
me,
mean, go
yeah.
ahead. Sorry.
Yeah,
So-
so that. No, I was about to end, but that alone to me is that shit should be harmful because we jumped. So they're saying 2G, 3G, 5G, but when you go to 5G, you're actually making a leap to how much gigahertz you're using.
So
Yeah.
you know how obviously they say don't stand too close to the microwave when it's operating. I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm like, well, you guys are saying all this about the 5G being stronger, and it's like, well, most people carry their phone in their pocket or in their hand, and if it's in your pocket, it's next to your reproductive organs. I mean, it's not even a foot away. And if you're talking on the phone, maybe you have it like right next to your head.
Your
And
brain.
I'm just like, this can't be good. I mean, it's already likely not good for what we have. I mean, we already know there's different exposures of radiation and everything, but then I'm just like, could this in some way be connected to, well, I'm not trying to get the channel banned, but maybe decreasing the number of people that occupy the planet.
Don't forget that everybody and their
bro,
mama
I
thinks
think-
they so cool with AirPods, and those run
Bro,
off
I
of
was-
frequencies as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
yo,
definitely
so
it definitely
this is the
exaggerates
problem.
it.
I got the findings from
Yo.
Noah Benzo, Paul Ben ISHAI, and Yuri Feldman.
Yuri Feldman. Yup.
These are the people who said this, and these are the people who studied this, and this is what they said themselves. In the interaction of microwave radiation and human beings, the skin is traditionally considered as just an absorbing sponge stratum filled with water. In previous works, we showed that this view is flawed when we demonstrated that the coiled portion of the sweat duct in the upper skin is regarded as the helical antenna in the sub-THZ band. Experimentally, we showed that the reflectance of the human skin in the sub-THC region depends on the intensity, perspiration, and sweat conductivity. So it goes on to tell how they've shown what human behavioral patterns can do based on the frequency of this. So when Dan and Hotep talking about putting them up in multiple areas, this is why you see in concentrated areas people a shift in even I believe in ideology, the way that people move. You know, we all act tribally. Even a tribal shift can be determined based on a frequency that is conducted around them at such a high rate.
The FCC chairman recently announced in a press release that they're going to adopt the radio frequency exposure limits from the late 90s because they've seen behavioral changes in rats exposed to microwave radiation, right? And that's the same kind of radiation that, wow. Soul Catcher. Check that out. Yeah. Yo, it's the same. That's the same level of radiation or more radiation it is from microwaves, right? So yet, since they adopted those limits like in the 80s and things of that nature, there are more than 500 studies found that harmful biological and health benefits that are coming out from the 5G radiation. So this is coming from even the Fedi Govs. They're even talking about it now. And you know, from what I can see that they've already had this infrastructure in place a long time ago. They had this in place a long time ago. We can look at what's going on in the world now. All of the aneurysms, the cancer in young people, heart problems in young people, and then we look at some of the metal that people are finding in their body based off of the stupid 19 shot.
Yeah, the one poke.
So with the one poke, right? So we look at that, and then we look at the fact that the biggest conductor of electricity is water.
Yeah. Facts.
So now, what are we made out of?
70% of that Aquilina, baby.
Well, it's the metals. It's the metals in the water. Like if you have deionized water that's like completely filtered, but like so much of what we have. I mean, you got like, especially when you talk about sweat and stuff like that. Like there's so much. There's sodium. There's all these different metals that are in your potassium and calcium and everything.
And you got to look at how the water gets to you.
Right.
It gets to you in a main that's metal.
So then what are the preventative measures?
Hey, just
that
letting y'all know.
Conversation. What do you do to guard yourself and shield yourself?
Right. Matter of fact, my bad. Go ahead, Nico. You good?
Quick thing. If y'all want to detox yourselves, go treat yourselves to a nice sauna and a mud bath. Let them sit and get your pores declogged. You feel me?
Yeah,
go hit up a couple of detoxes. You feel me? Get all that yuck shit out you.
They even make reverse osmosis shower heads. So when you take your shower, it filters the water again. But even with like the 5G thing, so I was reading. I forgot what I was reading that.
This is the worst Thanksgiving Day party ever. No, I'm just joking.
Nah, this is that real family.
It is. I was about to say this is like if our family all agreed with us and we just got to have these conversations out.
You can't have a conversation with mom.
Listen, you guys want to talk about?
They got that. What's it called? The the freak that they use. So down here at Six Flags, they had it. So it's like the riot control, where it's like that frequency that like it kind of like it sends out like almost a dog whistle of humans, and it just immobilizes you. They said that's on the 5G frequency, on the 5G. It runs on 5G. So if it can do that, it can stop you in your tracks. You know what I mean? With a high pitch. You know what I mean? That only we can hear. That means 5G is on it runs on our brain frequency.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's a lot closer than LTE was and 3G, and you know what I mean? So it's real interesting that this came up, you know. And like I said, if you go downtown, like downtown Baltimore, right? If you just look up, I don't care what block you're on, you're gonna see like 3 or 4 of them antennas just up there. You know what I mean? Every church done sold their the top of their church just to put the 5G towers up there. You know what I mean? It's just it's so many. You can't help to think that it's messing with a lot of people's body chemistry.
Facts.
Yeah. All that radiation, man, it has to be. I was reading the abstract earlier about people who wear their cell phones on their hip, like with those hip clips, and it affecting their bone density. And they took a bunch of, I think it was in Turkey, they took a bunch of bone samples from people who carry their phone on those little little holsters you put on your belt, on your hip. And it was only on the side that they were carrying them. They had real, like, seriously reduced hip density in their femurs and stuff like that. I'm trying to find damn, we just jumped in the deep end with a cinder block, didn't we?
Boomers already have it bad.
Yeah, for real, man.
Hold on.
Something
So what
happening
about
from their phone
beepers?
being on their hip.
Did beepers run off a frequency and did that start fucking with?
Nah,
thing
that was
was-
a de minimis amount.
Beepers ran off
it had-
baby mamas.
it had to send something to that, and then it would activate when it would be on, but it was a receiver.
Okay.
These things are like transmitting and receiving
Yeah, at
constantly.
the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
so-
the beeper. The beeper was the equivalent of talking on a cell phone through cups,
Mhm.
as opposed to what we're dealing with now.
So Augustus,
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
trying to
so
pipe
just-
up a little bit ago when you raised the book up. What did you have to say?
Yeah, so this book I showed y'all earlier is written by a scientist from DARPA. He's worked at the CIA. His name is Robert Duncan, and he's a part of the mind hacking strategy group. And I don't think necessarily like the things that we're talking about is a depopulation plan as far as like, you know, people are getting bone cancer or, you know, tumors in their head. Like maybe that has something to do with it, but maybe that's just like a side effect of what I think might be like a bigger picture agenda, which is this idea of being able to utilize the bodies that they have here and control them. So this book is all about hacking the mind and utilizing the types of technologies that we're talking about in order to do so. And this is written by the guy at DARPA. A lot of the stuff in this book is straight out of DARPA, straight out of the CIA, in the NSA, in the Justice Department, in the DOD. So, I mean, like, just some things I could highlight in here. They talk about how to pass the blood-brain barrier. They talk about mind viruses, how to program the mind with remote control attacks, Trojan horses, weapons-grade hypnosis. Weapons-grade hypnosis. Weapons-grade hypnosis, bro. That's what they
And these
talk
are the same
about.
assholes
They
who
talk about
murder
it,
and kill and steal.
I mean,
Wow.
I want to add something onto that.
Spyware.
The thing about side effects, right? So I forgot where exactly that I learned it from, but the term side effects, I guess it was created by those who benefit the most by calling them side effects. Because when you think side effect, it kind of distances you from. It's like, oh, it's an accident, but
Yeah, it's supposed to be a bug, not a feature, right?
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times what we do is we'll call it a side effect, but it's like, no, that's just a feature of it. That's just, it's just an effect. When we say side, it almost like, you know, we kind of like, oh, we just accept it. Like, oh, you know, like I'm supposed to be taking, you know, heart medication, but it might make my foot fall off. But that's just a side effect.
Maybe better word of it is like a symptom. Like a symptom of using technology to be able to commit mind control and control of people on a massive level. A side effect or a symptom of them using those types of technologies could be tumors in the mind or tumors on your brain, bone cancer, lower bone density, whatever you guys were just talking about. All that shit could be a potential symptom.
Random psychosis.
I just don't want to give them a free lunch.
Experimented on the public without the public's consent or awareness. I mean, bro, it's disgusting. And this is
what's
on, like Jones, the Podfather. He was saying this shit's been going on for a long time. They talking about it in here like it's been around since the 60s, the 70s, even before that.
They were using LSD. They were using LSD for mind control. That was the whole purpose of LSD. Yeah. I'm just saying we could go back to World War II.
Yeah. No, I know. I looked into it.
This book right here.
They use the LSD thing as like a scapegoat to what was really going on. Really, what they was doing, bro, was they was
the LSD story. This is the LSD story right here.
Dope.
The guy who made it, who discovered it, all of the studies on it before it was banned. My old roommate, he was this super old white guy, was kind of like a Bernie Sanders if he actually liked black people. And he gave me this book. He was in class when they were still teaching about this before they banned this stuff. This shit is fucking crazy.
Willie Nelson. Like studies with alcohol, sodium, heroin, morphine. So like opiates, alcohol, and shit with sodium in it, and they don't really like let people know. They say, "Oh, we was working with LSD. Don't worry about this other shit we was working on."
That's that brain blood barrier right there. But like,
Right,
yeah,
for
remember?
sure.
Do you remember the story with the kid, the autistic kid that one of the redacted agencies was trying to social engineer through emails, was trying to get him to pull some shit off. This is like 4 or 5 years ago, and the parents ended up suing him.
Yeah,
like that's the type of things that when I think about this with the 5G, right? Because I had this theory that I think that some people that might be like on the spectrum, you feel me, might be more susceptible to these frequencies. And being, you know what I mean, and being more able to pull some of this shit off. Think about the kid. Like think about anything that happened. The last like Parkland. You feel me? Think about that kid. You feel me? The guy, remember the dude that came all the way from Alaska. He went to the redacted and said, "Yo, somebody's messing with my head. They telling me to do stuff, and I'm coming to y'all." And then he turned him into the Anchorage police, and then they just let him go with his gun. And then he jumped on the plane, and he ended up in Florida. And then that shit went down. After he told him somebody's in his head,
why you think
to do some
that?
things. I think that people on the spectrum are more susceptible to those frequencies and being told to do things like that. Crowd, what's it called? Crowd stalking.
Is called the voice of God, or V2K. Voice to skull technology.
Yeah.
The guy
that's that gang stalking stuff, right?
Why you think that they force feeding these kids formula, man? There's been a massive influx. Formula for kids, baby formula. There's been a massive influx for like a lot of the things that they've been doing to these babies, and autism rates have been spiking.
And a whole movement telling people that breastfeeding is not natural. So like, how the fuck can you tell me breastfeeding is not? Every goddamn animal that lactates in the animal kingdom breastfeeds. How the hell you can tell me that's not natural?
Matter of fact, then they shame you. You know, they don't want you to do it in public and everything. Like,
and what they finding in the Fauci juice, the nanomagnetic particles?
Hey man, watch out now. This is our channel, AnarcHotep. You can talk about that kind of
just getting rid of the competition.
In the Yami, what's the in the Yami?
No, it's all right. It's all right.
You baited the hook, Chad. You baited the hook.
I know, right?
Hold on, wait. I'm sorry, gentlemen, but it's about that time, gentlemen.
Oh yes.
It's a pimp named Slickback with a Nico on the side, and I want you to throw $5. Come on, everybody with me. $5 for the Patreon. We don't just talk about kids getting autism or motherfuckers, and we talk about everything from guns to bitches. I'm just kidding. We don't even call them bitches. My mama really better.
Listen, we talk about exotic Hebrew and African titty milks.
Right. At the end of the day,
breast milk connoisseurs.
Nothing more natural than some African titty milk.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Hey, Jamal Anderson used to pay top dollar for it. Jamal Anderson used to pay top dollar for it.
Breast milk, you make my day.
Oh man!
And you rocking with the boys on the channel, and you got yourself a plate, and you grateful. Be more grateful to us, and we'll be grateful to you dropping beautiful gems like this. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Thank you. Well, for all the other ones that didn't say it, y'all.
Jonesy and Marcus have like a colostrum plug or something like that. They're like, hey man, you got the good stuff.
Hey, but if y'all want to show love, go $5 on that Patreon.
No plugs.
And join us.
That's not the kind of plug I'm talking about, Marcus. I'm talking
milk
about
based,
somebody
man.
who hooks you up.
It's natural.
I know I can use context clues, Marcus. I mean, don't step on the joke.
Show the love, people. Show the love.
Yes, absolutely. $5 for the Patreon. You get to join the Anarch chat with the likes of Daryl. We had Tim Free in the chat earlier. I saw him in here. Hotep Dutch comes to us via that way.
Can I take a pause for a second? Jonesy, where your ass at in this chat, Brody? $5 ain't hurting you, Pimp.
Oh, listen, man. Listen, I'm gonna tell
now
you
we're
something.
pocket watching.
Listen, I'm coming hard. Pause. In the chat.
Pause.
Hold on, God. Hold on. Pause. I will be on there tomorrow.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Nothing but love for everybody over here. Thank you, everybody, for showing up on this beautiful Sunday and enjoying the parlay.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
the tinfoils and everything like that.
Yes. No doubt.
If y'all got
doubt,
questions, throw them in the chat.
Yeah, for real.
Sure.
And but I do want to say, like, I want to bring up the title of that book that Augustus showed us because, like,
The Project Soul Catcher.
Does it not bother
shit's
you
creepy.
that the title of the book is Project, or the title of the project is Project Soul Catcher? Like that's what they call it. Like this is some next level stuff. Like if you really start thinking about how some of this science is directed, it is actually like tapping into a different type of resource.
Yeah,
the resource that is the human soul, the God particle, whatever you want to call. That it's just to think of the things that people who with the wrong intent can come up with. Anyway, that's just that one.
I thought mind control was bad, but
yeah,
my fucking soul.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, damn.
Is there any other topics?
It all breaks down to that shit, though. You know, who hopefully will come here later. But Aaron and I were talking about this yesterday. My brother-in-law is a Seventh-day Adventist minister, and this is a war for our souls. Ultimately, this is not a war just for our freedom. Killing our freedom off is a way at our souls. At the end of the day, this is a spiritual war. This is a war that we are fighting against evil, not against people, not against ideologies. This is a war against evil. These people are evil. Their methods are murder, slavery, lies, and theft. That's the simple amount of it. And if you are not willing to stand and fight against evil, then you, my friends, and none of these people here, but you are allowing and abetting evil if you're not willing to stand against it.
Man, I feel bad for the kids. I mean, it's like, you know, because they've got, a lot of them have parents that are just, it's the blind leading the blind. And it's like, you know, there's families being broken up about, you know, well, the husband won't get the woke pokes, and now the wife wants to steal the kids. And now, you know, like, the kids got to get the woke poke. They're only like 3. And then it's like, you know, they're being brought up in this crazy ass system, and it's sad. I mean, because really they're the ones who, you know, stand to inherit the future, but yet at the same time, look at what they're going to inherit.
You're going to have a crazy future, especially because a lot of those kids are going to be the ones taking care of us.
Yeah. Well, and isn't it amazing that, like, as the all right, so like this thing started off where it was just taking out older people, right? And then once they got like the thing worked down, they're like, hey, look, young people, healthy people aren't getting this thing. So it's like, hey, what if we come out with a variant that attacks young, healthy people? And then they're like, hey, all right, now everybody has to get it. And then they're like, all right, so we're having a hard time getting these 5 to 11-year-olds buy into this shit. We just approved it for them. Why won't they take? I know. We'll come out with a new variant.
Wherever there's a mass group,
that's on the way here.
And it's coming from Cybertron or some shit like that, right?
Well, somebody said I saw
Omniplex or some shit.
Yeah, I saw somebody say as the demand for those things decreases, the supply for the variants increases.
Yo, and they're also coming at the schools because my kid they gave her a jab diploma, like a fake one, but she was all proud of it and shit. And I kind of had to break that down. I'm like, I had to tell her it's not real, and they gotta ask mom and dad first before you get the real thing, because
the problem is
that's how they're trying to get them, because
that's how they're trying to get the adults too.
Some places aren't.
Your dad said no,
like,
cool.
Peer pressure.
That shit makes me think, like, looking back in 150 years from right now, are they gonna call like schools that are doing shit like that, brainwashing institutions or like brainwashing facilities?
Yeah.
When we look back on it,
the Ministry of Love.
That's like mind fuckery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder about, like, because like there was a stretch of time for like a really long time where like slavery was cool like everywhere, you know. And now everybody looks back and they're like, "Oh no, I would have never been down with that." Like, nah, man. Like, y'all are the people who are like saying that this shit is okay today. Like, it's the same type of mentality. And so I do wonder, like, how history 150 years from now is going to look back on that. Is it going to be one of those things where everybody's going to pretend like they never would have said the shit that they're saying on Twitter right now?
Well, shit, Disney gave Warner Von Braun a whole special.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think it'll be similar to like when you look at, like, you know, people are like, oh, my grandparents are racist, and you just kind of just say, oh, well, you know, it was a different time. You know, that's how I think it almost would look like, which is kind of crazy because it's like, damn, like we're really just gonna just excuse it like as a different time, you know what I mean? And I know that there's like,
you don't know what it was like during the pandemic years,
but yeah, exactly, you know what I mean?
Right, but we don't talk about what happened in 1770. We don't talk about what happened in 1769. We talk about what happened in 1776. What we may be experiencing is, you know, history books may not remember what we're doing. They may, the history books, and this is my hopeful ass. I'm hopeful because I think they bit off more than they can chew. What if what the history books talk about in, say, 50 years from now is this is the moment that the world said in one voice, we will no longer tolerate anything but freedom? What if they go too far and we say, fuck you?
No, they're going too far, and it's just taking a second for people to say, fuck you, because it has to be put in present context. Once people realize and they get outside of their American dome and see what's happening all over the world, when news breaks, when people get out of their little carpal tunnels that are they're only able to digest what's being put in front of them, when they're able to explore, when you're able to not have borders on your own mental and be able to get that shattered, it's going to take a lot. But once it happens, it will eradicate and free them first in the physical body, then, well, in the mental, then they will be able to express it in the physical.
See, I think we're giving people way too much credit. Like, we're living right now, in one big Milgram experiment.
I don't blame. Yeah, I see it.
People are okay with inflicting harm on people as long as someone else takes responsibility for it.
Yep.
When they don't feel like they have any real personal responsibility in enforcing this shit, it doesn't land on them until it affects them. So you'll have somebody when you'll walk into a restaurant, right? And you'll be waiting for your table, and for you to come into that restaurant, you gotta have a mask on, right? And then you'll walk fucking 7 or 8 feet, right? And then in that 7 or 8 feet, you'll sit right down in that very same restaurant and take the fucking mask off around the same people you had a mask on when you was at the door. And somebody will actually drag you out. They'll drag you out if you don't have it on. You know what I'm saying? Or you have people that you go to the hospital and you try to go with your lady that you've been in a car with, you live with, but you can't be in the same room with her unless you got a mask on.
Well, yo, like yesterday on Twitter, Cannon, you remember seeing?
I did.
I know you had seen it. The guy who was I don't know, he was talking wild on Twitter, basically.
Oh
saying,
yeah, he got his account suspended.
Take all the people who didn't get the woke poke, put them basically in front of a ditch, and just let them, just
line them up.
Exactly. And I'm just like,
fuck, is he rock him or some shit? Take 7 MCs and put them all on the line. He's like, what the hell is wrong with these guys?
He was talking real reckless, and he ended up getting his account suspended. But I think enough people responded to him. But
the craziest thing about it is they probably wouldn't have suspended him if people didn't report it.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't have suspended him. They'd let it ride.
To be like the popular opinion, where it's like, dude, first off, there's no way, shape, or form anybody's gonna line me up in front of anything without seeing a SIG P320 before I go away. It's not happening.
Facts.
Whoa, easy. I mean, they're talking about pastries, everybody.
Yes. They come to my house if they want to. They come knock on my door if they want to.
Pastries.
Again, though,
before you line
remember,
me up,
people,
trust me, we'll have lined you already up.
Remember, we're talking about 70% of the population that is sheep. They will do whatever the fuck they're told. All we got to get is 10% people. get 10% because we are fighting against 30% of the population, and at least 10% of that doesn't give a fuck and is aware of what's going on, but consciously
just too afraid to stand up to it, or yeah.
Right.
I see you, Cam.
And so we got to get 10%.
What did he do? I didn't see what he did.
Hey, I was gonna.
I
I just got back from the range, and I remember when
we
I
got somebody
interviewed
trying
you guys,
to jump in.
I was telling you guys about those Thorson stocks for California compliance.
Yeah.
And hold on, let me snap this together real quick.
Oh, this is a live stream. You can't.
He about to get y'all canceled.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that.
No, I'm taking it apart. It's nothing.
Oh, okay.
It's nothing live. These are the stocks that I was telling you about.
They love to just go ahead and wipe us out from that.
So this right here completely turned in California anyway. So if anyone's watching from California, you go Thorson, you can take these right here and you can go completely featureless. All right, because the communists, you can't have a pistol grip, but this will completely. This is the loophole right here. So these are killer. I got I won't say how many of these I have.
And that's a paintball.
Have enough.
And that's a paintball marker for everybody watching out there. That's a paintball marker.
That's exactly what it is.
You don't see
Those are my
the
go-tos.
at the bottom of it.
Yeah, where's the
That's Thorson.
He's gonna put the air can on it.
They got great airsoft products.
Yeah.
That's a little piece of carbon fiber.
Y'all don't hear the rattling
Little
of the
paintball
paintballs?
hopper on top.
These are all just airsoft guns back here, guys. Don't worry about it.
That's right.
Hey,
Nothing real.
Listen, this is an airsoft podcast.
Nothing is real anyway.
I don't know. Those
we're
are
all
looking
living in a
like,
simulation.
what is that?
Alec Baldwin props right there.
Oh no,
Those are Alex Baldwin pop things?
not OG 30 Rock. Y'all gotta be careful.
So unfortunately, we can only have 10 on stage at a time, and somebody has been trying to get in. So I will never ask anyone. But
no, it's cool. I'm gonna bounce out.
All right.
I just want to say, sorry to cut you
ready?
off, Chad. Yeah,
Hey, Daryl, much appreciated, big dog.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thanks,
for sure.
man.
Thank you.
Love you, Daryl, and we'll talk more in the chat.
Hey, if you want to help me out with adding another black person onto the stream to make me feel a little bit more comfortable.
More of those kinds. No, we don't need no more of those kinds. We're all top dog. We're gonna pause. We don't need no more. But yeah, I just want to say that this is great because this literally is the type of conversation that if I had this type of conversation at the table with a lot of my more status family, this would be yo, who invited this motherfucker? We're trying to eat turkey and live in the dystopian lands without any complaints.
Right.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Much love,
yeah, man.
G.
Thank you for coming through, bro. Thank you for coming through. All right, man. Peace. All right, so whoever was trying to knock at the door, keep knocking because we'll be able to let you in now. I was under the wrong impression. I was assuming that people would be able to come up and then we could just kind of shuffle people back and forth. But apparently only 10 people are allowed even backstage and on stage combined.
It is.
So kind of sucks.
And the only thing
it doesn't tell you who it
StreamYard
is. It just says, hey, somebody's trying to get in. And I'm like, well, I don't know who it is. And I don't know how to tell them. Well, I don't know, but I'm saying I don't know how to tell them. I could go DM them and be like, hey, try back in 5 minutes or something like that. But anyway, hopefully whoever it is will come back.
I think it might be Inez Cantor.
So Inez Cantor, yeah.
She's trying to get in. I don't like you talking about the freedom.
Yeah.
Last name.
The thing is,
trademark.
The thing is about people trying to come in. They'll come in when they come in. We didn't know what we were doing when we did this.
No, for
now
sure.
we do.
For sure. Yeah.
And and so whoever made it in first, well, y'all got the early bird
for
gets
sure,
the
for
worm.
sure. You got the but Daryl said before we started, he said he had an hour. So I appreciate. Thank you, Daryl, for coming in, and thank you for being a good sport and volunteering to exit the stage. But if you get some free time later on, and we're still only 9 deep at some point, hop back in if you.
So what are the topics? Anybody else want to shoot?
Yeah.
With airsoft guns though.
Yeah, for real.
Listen, before we switch topics, all I want to say is that everything that we're experiencing, I think that this is just something that happens routinely. Mm-hmm. You got to think a long time ago, if you wanted, people were murdering each other just at random, in all different ways, and then kingdoms were just murdering each other, right? And then eventually we couldn't do that anymore, but we were still executing each other. And the people would watch and they'd gather around to the spectacle to watch an execution. And then one day we stopped doing that. And where do those personalities go? Where does that animus go that is bred around that kind of atmosphere? That has to go somewhere. It doesn't disappear. People don't stop becoming ruthless and their bloodlust doesn't disappear, right?
Mhm.
So, from all the way from the advent of anything graphic that we visually watch on television to the way we talk to each other to the things that are happening now, this is a cycle of humans choosing something to be on. We're choosing something to get in our Gucci bag on as a collective population of people. That's really what it is. And we just have to weather the storm because it's going to happen again and again. And when, 100 years from now, they're going to look back, it's just going to be another instance that we dealt with. And the next thing that they're dealing with is going to be worse than this. We're just in the thick of it. So, I was just saying that because what Jonesy said, like we're giving it, I think all of us give it too much credit. We give it too much power and influence, and the best way to take away that power and influence is to recognize that there's a way to ride through certain storms and cultivate and protect your own on the way through.
Big facts.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And like as Chad always, I keep it in mind because Chad always talks about like just participate in sharpening your sword, but be kind to other people regardless. Like don't participate in the noise, try to be as disconnected from that. Be cognizant of it, but don't feed into it, Don't throw
never
fish
feed the
to
flame. Never feed that flame.
Well, we need to remember too, it's a spiral. Yeah, we're going to come around to the same area, but to Trey's point, when we were doing kingdom things, there was the level of violence that we saw in that time period was atrocious. It was atrocious, and we don't have that now. We're at a higher level of consciousness. We're at a higher level of understanding of what's good and what's bad. One of the things that the study that Dr. Stephen Pankard did on the decline of human violence in the 20th century is enormous, and you can see it. Now, that doesn't solve all of our problems because that isn't, one of the things Walter Block pointed out in reference to Stephen Pankard was that doesn't take into account coercion. They've stopped killing folks and just started coercing folks. And we're definitely seeing that now. And I think that one of our advantages going forward is that if they go backwards, if they start killing folks, trying to coerce them, people aren't going to put up with that shit. That's going to throw up some red flags.
Well, one of the other things too, though, to like what Trey was saying is that we have to be mindful of the fact that like a lot of what we're dealing with is like mass hypnosis and creating a reality through suggestion that we have a great deal of control over our own reality that we often hand over to that where we allow that mass hypnosis to actually like start to affect. That's why like predictive programming in TV, movies, literature, and all those sorts of things is used as a weapon, as a tool for that. But also like the stuff in the media, like how many people do you know who like they go eat dinner? They might eat dinner while they're watching CNN or Fox News or whatever it is, and they're getting this stuff like programmed into their heads so that when the next thing that's suggested is said, they're like, oh yeah, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to do that thing, and you can hypnotize yourself actually to like break free of that and like give yourself your own positive self-talk to help you build and navigate and cultivate the relationships that help make you. I'm not going to say you're completely inoculated to that stuff, but you sure as hell do have a hell of an immune system against it. What were you going to say, Jonesy?
Well, like I was saying, the biggest thing that we're losing touch with is
the phone. Yeah, you're pointing.
Well, I was saying the biggest thing we're losing touch with is being detached from technology and getting in touch with our own physical being, our own spirit, our own soul. Now, that's why, like in Islam, right, how you pray 5 times a day, or if you're a Buddhist, you meditate. You know what I mean? Or if you if you're a Christian, you pray and you go to mass. These things and working out, taking a walk, sitting down and talking to your children in a different form away from all of this shit. Like, you know, like if you got a dog, walking the dog with your kids and just talking to them and making them put their devices away. Like I just came back and I had my girls in the car with me, and you know, they want to be in their own world. And I'm like, listen, you might not always get a chance to talk to me. You might not always get a chance to talk to each other. So put that shit away.
Facts.
Because you never know how life can change very, 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 very fast. And I just think that, you know, we need to start thinking about some of the things that we need to be thankful for. Some of the things that we have in front of us that we take for granted are the things that they're using against us. You know what I mean? We don't need all of this shit. We don't need all of this shit, bro. If you have people in your life that love you and you love them, you don't need all of this shit. We need to fucking really focus on unplugging. And if you unplug, when you put that like that kind of stop to the matrix for a while, that's the thing that makes you sane. You can see everything from. It's easier to see things from far away than it is to see everything when it's right in your face like this. Sometimes we don't give a chance for ourselves to kind of step back from all this shit and look at it from 1,000 feet. And I think the reason why, you know, I'm gonna speak for Chad and I, you know, we have a lot of time in driving. We're by ourselves. We have a lot of time in our personal lives where we drive a lot. So sometimes I might be in a car for 2-3 hours and I won't have anything on, no music. I just have silence. That silence gives you so much perspective. It gives you so much. And I think that that's something that we all need to get out there to people. You know what I mean? It's time sometimes to just, if you unplug from this shit, you'll see everything a lot more clear.
Actually, it's funny you say that. I get on my brothers about it every Saturday when I can. Me and my little brother, he works over at Navy Pier, and Friday nights he comes home over to my house. And Saturdays I'll be like, all right, choose a breakfast spot, let's go. And I take him out, and we go breakfast. And I look at him. We play the game sometimes on while we waiting on our food. But then I was like, all right, flip your phone down. Let's eat and let's parlay. Like, tell me what's up. When I'm chilling with my brothers in the car and they be on their phone, I'll be like, nah, cut that shit up. Let's chop it up. Let's parlay. When I'm on my way back home from traffic, yeah, I'll be bumping my tunes. And then when my speaker dies, I'm like, shit, let's go with them. I'm with my thoughts. So I got to sit down and I'm just thinking about problem or solutions or more solutions to the problems that I thought were problems in the first place. You feel me? And they're not as real. People don't really appreciate silence. You know, people love when they go to sleep some white noise, but where's the appreciation for the silence when you go to sleep? You feel me? Like some people leave their TVs on and let their screens watch them while they go to sleep, and then when they wake up, they're a little disoriented.
Yeah,
You have to remember, we are the most advanced fucking computers known to man. And if you don't give your PC time to, you know, mellow out or give it rest, put it on rest mode aside from sleeping, you know, your mind's running a million miles a minute. My dad this morning was on his phone, and I'm like, you yell at me and my little brothers all the time for being on my phone. Well, what's up? What's the difference now? Well, you know, he's able to parlay and things of that nature, but it's a true, like, I'm not gonna lie, I fucking suck with phones and keeping them in contact. Like right now, I just got a new phone and it's damn near it's cracked at the top. Sorry, mama. But the thing is that when I would not have a phone, being in that silence and not having everybody contact me or getting a notification and looking at it and then getting on Instagram or Twitter and sitting and brainwashing myself with a whole bunch of unnecessary shit, it puts a blockade on a dam of imagination, free thought, and so many other things that your brain can process, yet people disregard it, you know? And so if you take anything from this podcast, take the time for yourself, turn this shit off once you're done, sit your ass down on your bed and just think. Don't reach
after
for that
Hotep
phone.
Jesus. Or after Uncle Hotep.
After Uncle Hotep, but sit your ass down. Don't touch nothing. Like legit, be with yourself and your thoughts, because a lot of things that people get depressed on. I'm not saying depression isn't, you know, something that you can just conquer in a day, but people always being stuck on somebody else's mindset instead of theirs, or always adapting somebody else's point of view instead of their own, and like being able to digest it, it really fucks with you. Give your mental self a break. Get to know yourself, get to know your inner child, get to know your inner demons, get to know all of that aspect of yourself until you are whole. It takes time, but it don't take it takes time, and what takes away from that time is scrolling on your phone for countless of hours. Not to mention black screens are fucking deadly, but y'all don't want to know about that.
Well,
I mean,
Augustus, when he was on, we talked about, he compared the whether it's the IG feed or whatever, Twitter, Facebook, to like MK
Any
Ultra
feed,
and that shit,
any
like that,
feed.
like
Yeah.
that feed that you're getting inundated with images, and it's like its own form of brainwashing.
It's a dopamine drip. And I always equate it to the Pavlov's dog. You know what I mean? Everybody goes there for satisfaction. And you're right about that driving in silence. Like when I go in the woods when I'm hunting, my phone's off. You know what I mean? There's nothing. It's just me and nature. It's just me and the tree and nature. You know what I mean? And when you got silence like that, you can't do nothing else but focus in on yourself. You know what I mean? Same thing with archery. When I'm out with my bow and my arrow, and I'm just out shooting at targets and stuff like that, and it's just silence is me and it's focused there, and it's a lot to be learned from those things. You know what I mean? Because we are so inundated with so much stuff. You got the news feeding us fear one way or the other. You know what I mean? Like you said, you got Facebook, you got Instagram, and all these other places or social media companies that are giving us that dopamine drip, that instant gratification that somebody liked our picture and this and that, and we want more of that. To the point we get lost in it. You know what I mean? And you see the kids.
That silence is like the defragmenter on the Windows computer.
Yeah. Like I remember when I was working in the casino, I used to build I used to be an electronics engineer, and I built the slot machines and stuff like that. So I would be in like the little break rooms, and I'd be sitting there, and everybody knows each other, but everybody's on their phone. No one's talking to each other. One day I was like, I guess how pitiful we all look, and everybody just looked up. What are you talking about? I said, we all know each other, but yet we're sitting here texting on our phones. I said, how many of y'all is texting the person across from you or something? Everybody started laughing, and then it spawned a whole conversation with our phones being involved for a whole hour. You know what I mean? And it's
Beautiful.
like, that face-to-face time, not not like on the phone, but like that one-on-one interaction, stuff like that, where you can actually reach somebody. Like that's it's few and far between now. So we definitely got to get back to that.
Kenny, you are a bad motherfucker. I have to say that. I heard you talk about archery and I see the pistol play. I'm gonna start calling you
this bitch.
I'm about to start calling him Rambro.
Hey,
For sure, that's Lambro,
that's
right?
a real thing, though. That's a real thing, though. It's like back in the day when there weren't that many things that were noise, and you had that pistol Pete on your side, you would always be out in nature. Nature was the most predominant thing out here until these big ass skyscrapers got out here and all these big ass brick roads were built. It was nothing but nature. And I bet you, even though those motherfuckers was crazy because they had crazy times, they were a lot more sane than the individuals that have cell phones in their hands that claim to be geniuses.
Right. If you got some good music too, that could help too.
But it depends. It depends on the frequency
music.
of nature, the frequency of your music. Because what people don't understand is that, and Kanye talked about this, a fucking idiot, but a genius at the same time. The 808s affect your root chakra. So if you listen to other music like not things with a whole bunch of bass, you won't have your root chakra. Basically, if it makes your girl want to shake her ass, it's not the best music. Now, if it's something that back in the day when you get the fucking Isley Brothers and you just groove into that bitch, or the Temptations or old Mikey, you feel me? It filled your soul, and that man basically threw millions under mind control with nothing but love. You feel me?
Yeah.
You gotta pick your poisons, but make sure that poison, if it ain't gonna kill you, it's gotta make you stronger. So if that berry, just get adapted to that berry. Don't let that motherfucker kill you. Don't eat too much of it. but at the same time, and just enough to the point where you're adept to it and you understand it. You feel me?
Yeah, social engineering is still a major. Social engineering is still a major player in today's society.
Absolutely.
People don't really realize that. I mean, you know, they're doing it digitally, but it's still a thing.
It's the same thing that happened to Tavistock, right? It's the same way that they started wars. It's the same way that they, you know, kind of taken the media and made it a propaganda wing. It's the same way how they can push a whole political movement, or they can push a religious movement, or they can push a certain way of life, and it happens so fast now. You know, it used to change, you know, so fast, and you know, I mean, so slowly. Like, change was gradual when we were growing up. Now change happens every other year. You know, what you thought was proper, what you thought was appropriate is not appropriate in 6 to 7 months, right? So, you know, I mean, like, there's some things that reign true, right? Like, you know, you talk about, like, you know, money. Do we really need money? Is money really important? You know, you go back to those old jokes, like, you know, they talk about, you know, one day in the jungle, there was a mouse and it was an elephant walking through the jungle. And, you know, the fucking elephant fell in a hole, and the mouse said, man, I can't get you out. He's like, wait, let me think. Let me go back to my house. He goes back to his house. He gets a Mercedes-Benz truck. He puts a winch on it. He pulls the elephant out of the hole. So he said, thank you, man. They were friends for life. So a couple months later, they're walking in the jungle, and the mouse fell in the hole. And he goes, man, I can't get out. And the elephant dropped his dick down the hole. And the mouse ran up his dick. So the moral of the story is this. If you have a big dick, you don't need a Mercedes-Benz.
But I would like to delay no further in welcoming the one and only Libre TV Saul G to the stage. What's up, my man, Saul G?
Wait, why am I getting booed? First of all,
because that's Jonesy.
I just wanted to. Yeah. Well, first of all, I would just like to say, man, you know, y'all my boys and everything. I appreciate everybody on the panel. Number two, I would like to announce, my hair will not be getting dyed green. Based on the Men of Valor, your boy has made a valiant comeback. If you keep up with the whole sports thing that we did, but I kind of want to tap in on what y'all was talking about kind of sort of getting away, because I kind of have a little if you didn't know, I just got back from Africa. So yeah, so I got a little bit of perspective on when y'all talk about kind of detaching yourself from your cell phone, or kind of escaping the programming. And the only thing I can say is, man, I thought that's what was going to happen in Africa, but it didn't necessarily go the way I wanted it to go. It's from that perspective, because the programming is everywhere, man. Like, I know we're speaking more likely an American view, not necessarily a global view, but when you go to a different country, what I expected to see was people who would be a little less detached, you know, people who would be, like you said, more comfortable around nature, different things like that. I thought I was going to see a different side, but it's like, then you start to realize how powerful the machine is, right? Because, like, for example, they say British people drink coffee. I mean, British people drink tea, I'm sorry, and American people drink coffee. So when I got there, they were telling me about, oh, Solomon, you got to try this Milo tea. So I'm thinking this is some type of African tradition. I'm like, oh, yeah, let me get that Milo tea. And when I saw the Milo, it's basically like Nestle Quick, and it's made by Nestle, but it's like something that they would drink in the morning. And I was so disappointed. Like, no, I'm serious. Google it. If you Google Milo,
they sell that shit over here. They sell it in bodegas in New York. Dominican people drink that shit. The Milo shit.
Yeah, oh my God, it bothered me so bad, dog. Like, That was the thing that I was sitting there thinking, because I thought I was getting an experience. I thought I was getting some sort of African root, but it was like Similac. You know what I mean? Like, it was so bad.
You got a bodega shake.
Right. But it was like, but I went over there because I was like, yo, I want to detach. I know I was on Twitter a little bit, but I wanted to detach. I was like, okay, I want to get near the original people. I want to go see what Africans look like. I wanted to get the African clothes. I wanted to do all of that experience. But as I was there, they're like, they don't even want to wear like the Kente cloth, right? They want like Louis Vuitton. They want Air Force Ones. They want Jordan.
Are you serious?
Well, you gotta
Yes.
think black people over here influence the whole fucking world.
Yo,
That is
BET
correct.
did some damage. BET was
For
like
real.
doing that shit. Like,
don't you blame BET, Dutch? Don't you blame BET?
yo, I saw it happening. I saw it happening. That shit, like, Suriname and South America. When BT got there, there was 50 cents all over it. It's like, what the fuck? Like, how? Like, before.
Man, Cash Money Records for the 99 and the 2000 saved your life.
No, I mean, it was cool. Like it's two-sided, because one, it gave black people around the world who was quote unquote oppressed or being oppressed or whatever. It gave them like a vision, like, yo, we could do this too. Like, we could be like that. But on the other hand, it made everybody follow one type of suit, like become this one type of black person too, where he said about the Louis Vuitton, everybody wanted to get Louis Vuitton. That all came from that, that television, the satellite or whatever broadcasting system.
Listen, Prince Hakeem had nothing but Louis Vuitton luggage, and that was 1989.
I get that.
Was it 89?
Part,
I thought it was further back than that.
But hold on. He was
it?
rich though. But he was rich though. He was supposed to be a king, so of course he's supposed to wear the finest linens. It's a little different when the peasants want Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, man. But
but
who's to determine who the peasants are, right?
Well, it's obvious if you're not the king. I'm talking about the people.
Yeah, the peasants here want Louis Vuitton.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but
they came for me when I bought a pair of Balmains a couple weeks ago.
Yo, but the other thing about BET too is like most Americans knew that a lot of that shit was just like the people that was doing it, they weren't really about it. Some of them were, but the people internationally, they was actually trying to do it. They're like, we're really about to do what we saw on TV. Like, so it has some.
Dutch, what are you talking? Are you talking about BET in the 80s? In the early 90s, that you talk about now? Because BET, look, I can't let you slander BET like that. When Bob Johnson owned BET,
when he sold it though, it's a different deal.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But Bob Johnson, when I was growing up, BET was great for the black community.
MTV.
You had
hold up. I gotta push back.
Go ahead.
You remember BET at night?
Yeah, that's when you were a kid. I'm talking about when I was a kid. You talk about that's after Bob Johnson sold it. I'm talking about when King was on and all of that kind of stuff. BET was great for black folks.
Yeah, when MTV
and Viacom bought BET, then it went down the tube, and they kind of brought it to the. You talk about the 106 and Park era. I was already
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
well, I mean,
I was an adult by then. I'm talking about when Bob Johnson owned it, and when Donnie Simpson was on BET, and when they had Caribbean rhythms, and they showed the reggae music, and they had the positive shows, and
Rachel was
Ed
fine,
Gordon on there. Rachel was official tissue, like a referee with a whistle. But I'm talking about back then. You had positive image. You had Ed Gordon. You had BET at night. And you had the black politics and stuff. It wasn't a bad thing for our community. It really wasn't. When you got Viacom got involved, and they
it went international, and then they went after the black diaspora, I guess.
So what they did was they just took the label of BET and they said, listen, we're going to take the lowest common denominator of black culture and we're going to put BET on it. So we're going to ruin something that was once positive, which they do all the time. Like how you look at the NAACP, right? The NAACP at one time, I mean, I've never thought the NAACP was a great thing, but at one time it meant something. They took it and they've ruined that. You know what I mean? So we can't just blame BET. What we got to blame is the gatekeepers to the culture itself. Because you had people in our culture previous to it being super commercialized who wouldn't allow that shit. You know, like the Russell Simmons of the world. You know what I'm saying? Before he got coked out of his mind, they wasn't allowing that shit. The Q-tips and the and the De La Souls and the KRS-Ones and all these people, the Chuck D's of the world, they wasn't allowing that shit. Now what do we have now? Now we have motherfuckers named Lil or Young or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? And now it's just
and they all brain dead.
Wait, to rebuttal that, I would like to say, fuck them niggas, because because look, I'm so sick of like the singularity mindset that us black people have. Not every single black person, I can't loop us all together, but like the singularity mindset that we've been on has been so heavily pushed and like fuck around and mandated. Like if you weren't moving like a certain type of black, who the fuck were you? You feel me? You weren't really able to express your true individual of, oh well, I don't watch BET, I watch anime, and like I just like to play computer games. You fucking nerd, go kill yourself. Like,
well, it's the same thing where you have like somebody like Tahuti Ma'adra or somebody like that, and then you'll have people clowning him, and they want some Fauci in a white lab coat or whatever to tell him. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, wait, this guy has like natural herbal like stuff that he's telling you about. And he has all the basis for it, all the backup knowledge.
Right.
And you're going to clown him because he's not because
he's not compliant.
He's not AMA compliant and all this other kind of stuff,
See the difference between when a guy like when I was growing up, right? And where it got to is that they removed the individuality out of our culture.
Yeah,
for sure. You had individuality in our culture. You had a place for, say, for instance, Duke Ellington, right?
Yeah.
And then you had a place for Miles Davis.
True.
You had a place for James Brown. Then you had a place for Nat King Cole. It's not all the same era, but I'm just saying
you were able to have multiple diverse pockets.
Yeah,
right. And it's not just black culture. You look at I grew up as a metalhead. Heavy metal was my jam. There is no more heavy metal. For the most part, it's gone. It is compliance. What they're getting out is there is nothing more strong than a black man in power. Nothing more strong than that. And they have made sure that that is not going to be celebrated. You don't put a bunch of hillbillies together and let them be empowered either. You don't do that. You don't let rebellious people listening to heavy metal surface. You don't let rebellious people who think for themselves rise to the top. You don't do that. It's not just black culture. Black culture just has had it happen to it. And it's evident. And I think that, to your point, Jonesy, even before, they went after BET, they went after MTV. I remember when there was videos all the time on MTV. And so it isn't just black culture. It is, they're enslaving everyone. They're doing everything they can.
Even like the Woodstock era, anti-Vietnam War crowd, like hell, a bunch of those people work for the Pentagon now. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just this.
The flower children became the neocons.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but the only reason why I use hip hop as and black culture as an example, because if you look at what's driving American culture, America doesn't make or export almost anything anymore. Our gross national product is culture. And if you look at the dominant culture in popular culture is black culture.
Right.
It's some kind of hybrid of it. So what winds up happening is that they're using our music and our style in sports, in movies, in comedy. Who's the biggest tastemaker in comedy right now?
What is it?
Probably.
It's three people.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart,
Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Who the biggest artist in the world right now? You got Adele, which she's singing black music pretty much. Beyonce and Rihanna. What happened? Oh yeah, we gotta claim Adele. She's fucking with Rich Paul. She listen.
She appropriated all that Jamaican stuff too.
Definitely. We're trading her for Brandon Tatum
Please.
Y'all can have that
Oh
motherfucker.
God, man, we don't want Brandon Tatum. What are you talking
No,
about?
you guys
y'all,
can have him.
y'all get to keep
Yeah,
We don't want
you-
no
I got
Brandon
that.
Tatum in the
Y'all don't
White
get
Club.
Adele for
Nope.
Brandon Tatum. You got to come with more, way
Wait,
more.
Chad,
Y'all
than
got all right. Look,
Brandon
look. I
Tatum
don't
for
even want to
Adele.
mention homeboy name because I don't know. Y'all
Look.
can have Kamala Harris.
I'm fairly sure.
We don't, she's Japanese.
She ain't
this
even
week, man.
black,
She's
dog.
Asian or some shit.
You can
Hey,
have
Chad,
Okay,
Kamala
we got
I'm
Harris.
fairly sure.
somebody else
Filipino.
trying to jump
I'm
in. I don't
fairly
know
sure,
who it is.
Chad, that you've
Yeah.
been
Why doesn't it tell
indoctrinated
me who it
into
is?
Hey,
the black
listen.
community a long
I'll
time
drop
ago.
out, guys. I'll drop out. Listen, much love to y'all. Happy holidays.
Love you, brother.
You know what I mean? I hope you guys enjoyed all your turkey.
Somebody else bounced. Who bounced?
Oh,
Dutch.
Yeah,
Dutch
yeah,
bounced.
Hotep Dutch. Oh man, I'm sorry, Dutch, man. Dutch, come on, man. Come back in, man. You slandering BET. Come get some of these comeuppance.
That's crazy though. What Saul was talking about, where they're like, he's going.
Wait, hold on. I got something else though, right? Hold on.
Culture and everything.
Yo,
It's just
on the
like,
can of Milo
What?
tea,
It's my
on the
brother.
on the Milo can, it's got a nigga slam dunking the basketball.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty terrible, man. Yeah. Oh, but there was another thing that I noticed, right? Because I want to say something like, and I want, since we got white people and black people on the panel, I also noticed when I was in London, like white people is different. Like I don't even. This might sound weird, but like I don't even really consider y'all like European no more. Like when I got around them white folks, I was like, oh hell no, these cats is nothing like Chad. You know what I'm saying? Like them London, like British. When I sat down to have breakfast and I'm looking at all these white people around me, I'm like, I don't really feel comfortable right now because like these are some straight up Europeans. So when I see people like Chad and Marcus and Cassius and people like that, I be like, yo, these are not the white people that I know. You know what I mean? So it's like when I was
Chad
there, hold up.
and Cassius, we've claimed them.
Yeah, we've been
Okay.
playing.
We've
Hey
been
now,
claimed them, bro.
motherfucker. I get a big claim too. Hey
I
now.
stand
Marcus, you're
corrected.
not
It's Jeremy
experienced.
Lin on the can. That's what it looked like.
But what I'm saying is, hold on, but it's like when I was over in Africa, right? It was another thing to be black and be in Africa. It's like you stand out like a sore thumb. I was riding through at night in the back of a car. And the funny thing over there now, this is something I'm not trying to speak for everybody. Somebody who's African who might watch and be like, oh, we don't do that. I can only speak about my experience, right? So I'm riding through this car, my window down at night, and they had these people on the street that want to trade dollars, right? American dollars. So imagine being on the street in a car with your window down, and they can look in the car from about 20, 30 yards away and tell I'm American. And the way they do it is they say, hey, what's up, my nigga? My nigga, yo, what's up? And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, it wasn't even like a hesitation. You understand? Like you could spot I'm not African from 20 meters away at night in a car, and it's like you want to trade dollars with me. So I'm just saying, just for the sake of the conversation, black people in America, we need to take pride in ourselves. It's always good to connect to the motherland and all those great things. I don't have no problem with that, but we are a separate entity now that we can take pride in because we affect the entire world. And I say the same thing to white people. Y'all affect the way these Europeans were because I was looking at these. I was like, I don't even think British people used to dress like that. I saw some of like the pop culture reference. They walking around with Marvel shirts and Dickies on. I'm like, I don't think they was dressing like that, but that just might be me. But that was just my experience. So I just wanted to let everybody know that. So black people, please take pride in the fact that we different. You understand? We are a different entity now, and we got to respect it.
Did you think that maybe they smelled the cocoa butter and frustration in the back of the car?
Man, y'all kind of chill. Let me bring some civility to this room. My baby brother Evan is in the building.
Wait, he the only civil person here?
No, but I just had to find a segue, so I made something up. This is my baby brother Evan. He was on for I don't remember what episode that was, 77 or something, back in August. Evan, you're in Atlanta right now. Saul G's like right outside your door. He's trying to.
Nah, it's like 3 hours to get anywhere in Atlanta.
Yeah,
dog.
no, that's.
Nah, I mean,
yeah, I noticed.
I
noticed.
I live in Atlanta,
You're not
but
home
I'm
right
in
now, Saul?
Minnesota right now. I'm
Oh,
right
you're in
underneath
Minnesota.
Minneapolis. Yeah,
Oh,
right
okay,
underneath Minneapolis.
All right.
But continue.
What's going on, Evan?
Well, it's great to be here. I'm really excited. Just finished a few courses with some married couples and some youth, and I'm ready to head back home and be with my family. And it's great to be here. Great to be with you guys, and it's an honor to be part of this project.
Yeah, this is so Evan. For anybody who doesn't know, Evan travels like all over the world. He was in Argentina like last week, and he's back in Atlanta this week, but he lives actually in Guadalajara. So he's my Mexican baby brother. That's what I call him.
Wow. Hey, does anybody have a question about Chad's childhood? Because I have like 30 of them right now. I'm sorry. I don't mean to say lowbrow or anything like that. But I mean, Nico, I'm sure you have a few.
He was a kid.
Oh, y'all gonna try to get dirt on me
Chad,
now?
Did he always want to be a cop?
Can Chad really dunk? Have you actually seen him dunk? I feel like that was a doctor's photo.
He's got more hops than I do, and I'm taller than him.
Yeah, Evan's 6'3", so I can dunk on Evan.
So Evan, when you guys dropped Chad off at Quantico, how did the
I hate y'all, man. Why y'all gotta hate on me like that? I'm just trying to hold a nice little forum where my friends can get together and talk with each other, and y'all gonna try to shit on me. All right, I see how it is.
Hey man, they aren't shitting on you, man. You were allowed to be black. You and Cassius were allowed to be black.
That's true.
They told me I
shit on
can't
you
come
too.
in.
They said you weren't. They
Do I get a
didn't
pledge?
invite
Do I
you
have
in.
to-
Marcus, you were in there until you wore that hat
pledge?
Yeah, you was looking real suspect with that hat
Hey
on.
man, that's my white man goofy right there. White man
You
goofy.
look like a character from Red Dead Redemption, man. I don't know if
That's
I
the white man goofy right there.
Yeah, the
hat
snake
took
oil
you out.
salmon.
Hey, you churn butter with that hat?
Yo,
You churn butter.
You get a free bowl of soup with that hat.
He makes his own soap out of lye and tallow.
I can't even say
pig
that.
lard and some lye and make some
My
soap.
father walk around with a Stetson, some Red Wing boots, and Carhartt vest every day. So I can't even say nothing about Marcus.
Stetson. I got a
The
Stetson. My
Carhartt
grandpa
vest
gave me a
is
Stetson.
the Carhartt vest was like a one that I wasn't expecting to be part of that ensemble. I have to admit.
My father like the Quaker Oats, man.
Y'all get
Sometimes.
majority of the projects, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm serious.
Hey, but how was the whatchamacallit, the thing you just did? How was your I guess your meeting? Your
The courses that he gives?
Yeah. How was the course, Evan? Like what'd you guys discuss?
We did
well, sex, obviously.
I did a 2-hour course with married couples today on personalistic sexology. And we talked a lot about just kind of marital intimacy and how to work on the emotional part and the physical part and to grow in that. And they laughed a lot, and it looked like it went pretty well. And we went out to eat lunch after the course, and we found one of the couples on a date when we went out there. So that was a pretty cool thing. Yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah, that's the first heart I've ever
for
gotten
sure, man.
thrown
It's
at
good
me,
stuff.
That was
Yo,
awesome.
listen, I feel like I'm not doing this marriage thing right then, man. I feel like I am fucking up, man. I'm sorry for the bad
have him fly
So you're
out.
saying you're a bottom? Is that what you,
dang.
Oh boy! Here we go. Hey,
All right,
look.
and on that note, y'all have a good night. Cause Chad over to the gay stuff. So I'm out.
See, look, you know, I tried. I was gonna slide out of here. I was gonna leave you alone.
I was looking for my exit.
and then you guys try to go for like childhood shit and everything, try to get my brother to slander me.
Bro, that was a nice joke. We all said you're a Fed. You came to Hotep Weekend, right? Right? And I was just riding off of the joke for Quantico. Wasn't anything. I didn't ask anything embarrassing. I mean, Jesus Christ. Now I'm going to have to stay on for 10 minutes more until I find a way to roast Chad.
I get my, I got it all right.
I can
here.
help.
I'll
I
just
can
go
help
ahead and
you
put it
with
on
that,
right
man.
now.
Oh,
there we go.
See, all that stuff we was talking about, we're done, man.
Got my
Yeah,
costume.
look.
All that key talk, we're done, man.
Right there.
I got my Halloween costume that I wore out to Hotep Nation weekend.
That's not no
Nah, I'm pretty
costume,
sure.
dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's the
Oh,
baby. I
look at the
love
baby.
it. I love it.
This is
Let's
it. This
bring
is
it.
it. This
There you go. That's
it.
the meaning
That's
right
the
there.
future, baby.
That's why we
That's it
fight,
right
brother.
Good.
Hey, yo, I got a
That's it.
question.
That's it right
I
there.
got a question. I'm just looking through the time. Y'all think MAGA rap has jumped the shark?
That's right.
Definitely.
That right
MAGA
there is
rap?
where we fight.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
They
There's
just
got to be an answer.
they still grifting hard off Rittenhouse. They still grifting hard off the
Bruh, there's like 6
Let's
of these
Go,
cats. They all
you
put
know what
out
I
the
mean?
same song. Every time anything happens, all you know who I'm talking about. All 6 of them, they put out the same track.
Yeah.
They just copy and paste.
If Trump was
It's really easy
president,
to
this
grip.
shit wouldn't be happening. It's the same old bullshit, man.
It's easy to make money off that crowd. That's the thing.
It's
That
cake,
it's easy
dude.
to
Those
make
those
money off
white
that.
conservatives, like that's why Tom McDonald blew up so big. You know?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
grifting hard. I
they
don't
love
care about that.
propaganda. They love propaganda like the lefties do too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they trying to
And
get
the thing that bugs me about that is like the whole Tom McDonald crowd. Like these are
Shit
people
to
that
my
were never
family.
initiated listening to hip hop or anything, and then they're like, "This is good rap music," and I'm like, man.
Yo, they had this big dude.
He's saying stuff I agree with. Listen to it.
They had this big dude that looked like this joker looked like a bouncer called MAGA Hulk that was trying to rap.
Yeah.
The worst
All
rap I've ever heard.
All chest, no legs, yo. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
man.
saying?
He looked like he had a prison build and shit.
Hey, listen, I firmly believe that the MAGA rap crowd are the same crowd that probably used to listen to ICP when they were kids.
ICP, yeah.
They just evolved. They just evolved. That's all it
Look,
is.
Bryson and Patriot J, I get him a pass, but the rest of the motherfuckers, bro, trash.
I give Patriot J a pass.
I give Patriot J a pass. Patriot J makes some like listenable, palatable music. You know what
Bryson
I'm saying?
can rap. You can't say
Bryson
Bryson
can
can't
rap.
rap.
Bryson
He
can
rap.
rap.
He can rap.
Bryson can rap, but I just don't like the guy. I like Patriot J. I think he's got his head on straight.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I was
Hey,
gonna say.
shout out to
Jordan
Patriot
is cool,
J for
bro.
passing the bar.
Yeah, he did.
Come on,
He
sticking
did
up
just
with
pass
Olivia
that
is doing
bar.
something right.
They planning the future.
They down Disney
that's
World
right,
right
that's
now.
right.
Shit.
So speaking of the
Yeah.
future, we saw your baby. We
can't-
gotta get all right. So
for sure.
what's the baby? The baby's 3 months old?
Cassius,
Yeah.
I have to tell.
Wait, hang on. What's the baby's name so we can root for the success of the future of Hotep Nation through
She has
little baby.
She
black
has
woman.
her grandmother's middle names. So her name is Celestine Elizabeth Quinn. Quinn's my last name. So
Yep.
Celestine's my mother's middle name, and Elizabeth is my wife's mother's middle name.
That's awesome.
Beautiful, man.
What is it? That's a tradition through mine. Almost everybody that's a girl in my family has Maria as their middle name. So it's like you feel me? You
Well,
just
being
pass
black,
it
we're
on.
black people. We culturally do that.
Yeah.
That's a tradition. I mean, I know it varies. Sometimes there's a patriarchal tradition, a matriarchal tradition, depending on how you view your family structure. But I had a baby girl. If I had a son, then I probably would have given him, a grandfather's, things like that.
So where does that necessarily originate from? Is it yes, you said cultural, but is it something that
South Africa.
South Africa?
So yeah, South Africa. Some of the more earlier tribal religions and traditions, even though biblically we all know about relations being passed through the father and this and that. In South Africa, a long time ago, they were passing relations through matriarchal lines as well as patriarchal lines. So, but that tradition springs down from there. West Africa and other places during that time had already converted to Islam. So these are traditions that have existed for a while Islam was there and before Islam was there. So even in Islam, you can find vestiges of that type of tradition. It's a little bit harder. It's a little more delineated and revolves around the religion's core itself.
Well, and Evan, you're Fernando's explain how the nomenclature works down there in Mexico, where
They
her dad's.
They use both last names. So they take the father's last name first and then the mom's last name second. So my wife's last names are Gomez Solorzano. So she's taken Gomez from her dad and Solorzano from her mom. And our kids are Lemoyne Gomez. So they get my Lemoyne and they get my wife's Gomez. And a lot of people are like, well, why do you only have one last name? Do you not love your mother? And I'm like, yes, I love my mother. And then I'll be like, do you not love your grandmother? I mean, you got to stop it.
Well, it's like in Iceland where it's Thor's daughter, or
I was,
you know what I mean?
Annie Thor's daughter.
Yeah, Annie Thor's
Think
daughter,
about her.
Catherine David's daughter. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
thought you
Well,
meant like
Thor
Rick
Odinson, you know, he's
Right.
Odin's
Yeah.
son, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Leif Erikson was Eric the Red's son, you know.
Have you guys ever met anybody named Thor?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
actually have. Look, I met a dude named Thor.
Yes.
Look, when I was younger, I was working at this bullshit job. And there was a guy, he was like the manager, and they were like, well, Thor's coming in tomorrow. And I'm thinking that this motherfucker's gonna be an impressive looking motherfucker, yo. I'm like, where the fuck is Thor? So I come in there, and Thor's this little
Did he have
5'7"
braces?
dude. Yo, 5'7" dude with Coke bottle glasses and a ball spot. Yo,
Yeah.
so I was like, yo, where Thor at? Where Thor at? They were
They
like,
were
that's Thor
trying
over
to
there.
help
I was
you
like,
out.
yo, dude. I said, I'm sorry to say this, but I'm so disappointed.
You're
Like,
like,
I don't
Chad,
think
I
his name
sent
was
you a
Thor.
picture.
Right.
Chad, I
You know,
sent you a
you
picture of my
dude,
father in his truck. I just DM'd you a picture
It's
of my
it's a
father in his
curse.
truck. Please, no,
The-
I'm not joking.
The Thor I know was
Oh, you died, Marcus.
Oh man,
it's a
look,
curse,
this is
man. That
crazy.
Thor
Nico's
know.
fluid video and Marcus is frozen.
Hey.
I think we're back there
He had
again.
a Thor in prison. He was big dude.
Darth Mater.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
you back. Nope, never mind. You died. Hey, remember?
You're on like
I
you're
made
on
earlier
like
was
mad delay. So
Chad put on that Fed hat and they got you.
yeah, right. Yeah, I got that was just a signal to the guys in the van across the street, letting them know it's A-OK. And, they can keep listening. No, I'm just
Hey,
joking.
look, and he got the Kyrie jersey in the back.
Hey, look, man.
Signals,
Like, we got
signals.
listen. I'm reaching the wrong way. This is the answer right here. We have to get Kyrie Irving in the All-Star game. Vote as many times as you can for Kyrie Irving to be in the All-Star game because
Does he have to
if he-
get
if-
the Jim
no.
Jam Superdome?
How many
No.
votes did you need?
no, he does. Well, at least for now, he doesn't. He would be eligible to play in the All-Star, and that may be the only game he plays all year is in the
Where's
All-Star
the
game.
All-Star game going to
It
be
would be
this year?
hilarious.
Because if it's in Toronto,
Cleveland.
he does. It's going to be
in Cleveland.
In
Yeah.
Believe land. Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
can go there. That's the
Yeah.
heartland
And,
of
and
the
it's like
country.
perfect. Like he's a hero there too. Like it's
To a degree. To a degree.
I mean,
Look,
yeah, I mean, I know he had an unceremonious exit, but he still hit that three. That is the only reason that they have a title. So
yeah, not Bronny James, not Big Brown James, not over there. Nah.
No.
Yeah, so LeBron's not he's not the reason. It was all Kyrie.
no, I didn't say that. I'm saying if Kyrie
That's
doesn't
what
hit
Nico
that
said.
shot, if
LeBron
Kyrie
didn't
didn't hit
do
that
it?
shot, it don't matter.
No, we're not going down this bunny hole.
Yeah, I can't. I'm just waiting for Chad to say something stupid. So I can get
I'm
off.
not saying I wasn't saying anything negative about LeBron, Jones.
No, it's not LeBron. I'm just waiting for you to say
I
anything
wasn't.
wrong so I can skewer you.
Oh,
so I
I
can
know
go to
this.
bed.
I have been here. I have been here for a while. I'm well aware. Augustus, you have been super quiet for a while.
Yeah,
you
let's
got
pick your brain for a
anything you
second,
want to jump in and chime in
Oh
on this?
no, bro. I'm just listening. I'm enjoying myself. You guys are hilarious.
All right.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys, we are
From
coming up
literally
on
big
2 hours. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you alive now.
I mean, I ain't going
All right,
nowhere.
good.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Like when I get the notification that
You guys
Uncle
wanna go
Hotep
another
Pack is
half hour?
starting, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
like
we good,
I'm down for
Hey,
to
this
go
is
as long as people are
why are you
doing
cutting dinner short? Why would you do that?
exactly.
Why would
This
you
is
cut dinner short?
this is a party. Like
I'm just trying to respect what we said.
Hey, I'm still
No.
eating on my yams, baby. Don't do
I said
this.
I said we go at I told everybody I was like we're gonna go from 6 to 8 Eastern at least. That's what I said. So
All right,
whatever
I got to
happens
make a
from here
joke I was
happens.
trying to make earlier.
All right,
now
go
that
ahead.
I can. So I've been spreading Cassius's shit everywhere. His raps have been played over this holiday season. Right. That's right. You get sexy. I've been just, you don't understand. I finished in Cal. It was awesome. But seriously, so I find it hilarious. My son, who is a who works for an Amish electrician, and I'm not kidding when I say that, he works for an Amish electrician. I think it is hilarious that Cassius Cam's music is probably because my son loved it and wanted me to send it to him. I find it hilarious as he drives Amish people around. They're going to be listening to his music, so they're going to be exposed to some, not only to rap, but to some badass freedom-oriented rap.
Exposing friends to extremist content.
What
Love
are
it.
the politics of Amish people? Like, what are their like beliefs? Like, I understand they separate themselves from society, which is they're probably some of the most hardcore badass people on this land because they mind their own fucking business. But like, what are their like genuine beliefs and like how do they move? I'm fairly sure they don't even give the jib jab jibbidome either.
Depends on which sect. And one of these days, I'll have Raven on here and he'll talk about it. Sorry.
What's up, Black Man?
They're Old Testament. They're Old Testament, but I don't know because I know that it's not the same Old Testament that everyone is familiar with. It's like a revised version for them. But from what I lived in Florida and I was in Sarasota, and there's a bunch of their communities in the middle of Mansion Alley. So there's a bunch of their stuff is in stores because they own the stores. And from what I'm to understand is that where their religion differs is that they take Old Testament and then rewrite it to fit a community or family doctrine, and then that is passed on through generation to generation through a family name. And so if you go to certain Amish communities, they are separated by certain families, and each family has their own specific Bible that carries tenets from the Old Testament and whatever their family has accumulated morally through the years. And they record it. They pass the Bible on to the young person after their before their Rumspringer, and then after their Rumspringer, they inherit the family Bible, and then when they have children, the process gets repeated. But there are a bunch of different types of Amish. There's and so I don't know if that's something you can put on all of them. I know Mennonites, they work with power tools and technology. I think that are just strictly Old Testament and they don't have family doctrines, whereas those who I don't know what the other version is, but the ones who are more intense with the long beards and all that, they themselves have their own family Bible. That's not officially, unofficially what it boils down to if you're speaking in the layman's term.
That's dope, actually, for them to not be subjugated. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, one of these Sundays we should have Raven on here because, like I said, he's working for the Amish, lives amongst the Amish.
Ooh. Most definitely.
Tell him to Nico. Stay away from Kelly McGillis.
Sorry. Hey, Chad, did you get that picture I sent you?
No,
the Milo picture?
No, not that one.
You sent me a. Oh, okay. I didn't see.
So you know I'm not joking. Oh my God. You see the 4 horsemen on the side of the truck?
Yes. Pops is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
What is That's your dad?
Yeah.
What?
Bro, y'all. Okay, hang on.
I'm about to say if you want to share it, you can.
I'm about to put this joker up here. Yeah, hang on just a second.
It's a legend.
Give me just a second. This bad boy's got to go.
My man,
Trey. Hey, keep in mind my father from Cherry Hill, yo.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
From Cherry Hill, and he obviously don't look like he's from the area.
He's from Westport, yo. My grandfather used to own an auto shop down there back in the day. So when Chad pulled his picture up, yo, it was hilarious.
What, my man's just riding on a horse with a repeater and like a dead man on the back?
All folks in Baltimore used to dress crazy. My grandfather, he loves bolo ties. When he passed, I got all of his bolo ties, but that was his drip, his bolo ties. I got family members who used to wear a cowboy outfit in the middle of West Baltimore, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my grandpa did registered bulls, and that was his thing too. Yeah, bolo ties. So I got a couple when he passed. I got a bunch of Stetsons and a bunch of bolo ties.
Yeah, I wear bolo ties. I wear bolo ties to like business meetings and quotes and stuff. I put them on for real.
All right, here we go. I'm about to throw these bad boys up here. Give me just a second. I gotta populate the thing. Y'all keep talking. I'm just gonna throw these up. I got a couple of pictures I'm gonna share. One of them, Jonesy has already seen. Because it was the masterpiece that I cooked up yesterday. So this is what we had for third Thanksgiving.
Oh,
That's
that
my
brisket
brisket.
boy?
Yeah.
Brisket.
That bark was on
That's
fire.
nice.
Anyway, there's Cannon's dad's truck.
What the
What?
It's got the 4 horsemen right there in the middle on the door panel.
Yo, what?
Are you cruising to the hood?
It's so epic.
You see the Stetson on his head. You just can't see the Red Wings.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
Hey, nobody running up on that man.
He looked like a bounty hunter.
You feel me?
For real.
Walking Texas Ranger.
He looked like
You're right.
You jump bail, he shows up in that truck with the 4 horsemen on it.
Oh
Shit.
man.
Y'all know what time it is.
I told him, I said, I don't know if
That's
that
your
truck was
ass,
like you
Mr.
saving souls or
Postman.
you trying to go
Hey,
take them.
Dutch is back. All right, welcome
Dutch
back,
is
Dutch.
back.
Sorry for maybe one day StreamYard will make it to where we can have like 400 people on stage.
Nah,
and
it's
then
gonna
How
we
did
can
Rashida
invite
Law
the
have
whole
like
thing.
14 lawyers on or some shit?
It's gonna be a Libra stream, and we gonna have 45
That's
people
right.
deep.
That's right.
You feel
That's
me?
right.
Some of his employees call it the ARC 2.0.
The ARC 2.0. Shoot. I don't know. You can fit 2 and 2 on there.
Great.
Oh no, I just laughed. I was like, I don't know if he's saving souls or you scream shooter. I don't know which one.
A little bit of both.
He loved
Hey,
it.
wait. I have a question. What's gas prices looking like for everybody on this stream?
515.
Yeah,
Looking very grim.
You in California?
515.
I can
I'm
still
in
find
Northern
it under
California,
$3
so
somewhere,
like
some places
it's
here.
rural
2 to
up
3.
here, but like it's cheaper in the metropolitan areas. But where I live, it's right on the I-5 corridor, so it's like one of the only stops in between any like populated area in Northern
premium.
California, like Redding's the last city, and then Southern Oregon. So like we're the I-5 corridor, like we get all the traffic and all the tourism, so we get gouged. I can only run premium in my car too. So $5.15 a gallon for.
Goodness.
And I drive an F-350. I got a truck like my father's truck. It ain't as flamboyant as that, but
Diesel or gas?
Diesel. And
okay.
Yeah, diesel's like 50 cents cheaper.
It's $150 every 2 days for me to fill up.
What?
Jesus.
Why are you driving that? What are you
I'm
doing?
pulling trailers. I'm pulling
Oh, you getting like 4.5 miles to the gallon?
Yeah,
or something?
about
stoplights
that.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
It kills it in a diesel if you got to stop a lot, man.
I'm getting 2 euros, but
How much that
What's
transfer
that?
to in
Yeah,
Was
what's
that
that?
like
$7?
$3.50 or something?
What's that in real money?
what's that in Bitcoin?
In the euro,
What's
like
that in publicly traded money?
that's probably like two something, 290, 250.
All right,
yeah. Okay.
You enjoy your gas.
Yeah, but
You enjoy
that came up from 140 and within a
Is that-
year.
Your
Is that
hairs
per
aren't
gallon or
turning
per
gray
liter
from that,
though? That's
Yeah.
you said that's €2 per liter though, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
retarded. That's like $8.50 a gallon or something.
Yeah,
Oh.
a euro's $1.13.
Yeah, so multiply that. So he
In a
said
liter,
it's
how
€2.
many liters are in a gallon?
4.
4 liters in a gallon?
3.785.
It's 3.
Yeah,
Isn't
4
it 3
quarts
liters
in
in
a
a
gallon.
gallon?
No, 4. It's 37.85 is the milliliters per gallon.
Oh, so it's more expensive.
It's just under 4. It's just under 4.
$8 a gallon. Shit.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah,
six-
we're looking at
like
about
6-7
320.
bucks.
Yeah,
I've been
over
fainted.
Hey, Dutch, how much is gas in Spanish lira?
I have no idea.
Come on.
But shit, I thought we was
Depends on the
doing
taco Bell
good,
you're
but
eating, man.
I didn't even know my brother left while I was gone.
Yeah, he was like he had to blow this popsicle stand.
I'll be on a donkey like Juan Valdez.
Oh, shit.
Your brother's a good dude, though.
Hey,
I'll keep him.
I'm not gonna lie. Who trying to go Dutch on this ranch and get some horses because I'm sick of this shit.
Maybe
this
Dutch.
gas. Because
Nah,
this
Bill
ain't-
Gates bought the land up already. Too late.
Yeah, you want
we
the
still
land, man.
got some stuff down here.
Chinese government and
Louisiana
Bill
and
Gates
Texas.
bought it all up.
yeah, I've been thinking about what to do through this to get up or try to stay out of the what you call the matrix. And some I saw a video which I sent in the chat. Some lady was saying like buy up precious metals. I kind of see the way to that, but particularly for Jonesy, like I also saw a YouTube video yesterday of like in Spain, of a airport that got sold for auction for $10,000 because of the COVID pandemic. You know, and I'm like, these are the type of things we need to be like trying to get, like these auctions of, you know, these, you know, I'm sorry to say, these desperate companies trying to buy up those places, you know, to try to scale up.
Yeah, the only problem with buying property, certain properties, is that if you don't have the capital to maintain it and to you know, follow all of that, and that's where government comes in, where they don't allow us a lot of the times to come up out of our standings, because there's a lot more behind owning an airfield than meets the eye. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, it becomes an albatross to people with money. See, for somebody to own an airfield, they have money. So it's like the reason why they're turning it loose is because the amount of money it generates is not worth them holding on to it and paying into all the bureaucracy. So, you know, like, you got to do the whole look into it, because you know, there are a lot of fines and things and liens and levies, and what you've done is you just bought a great big headache that they're just going to take for you.
Yeah, and your money for it all anyway.
I'm just trying to build a shed without a permit.
But it's not a bad idea to buy it while it's cheap, and maybe you don't use it as an airstrip. Maybe the airstrip is something that you keep to the background, but maybe you can use part of the land for something else and keep the airstrip for something else.
They actually though too. You want to make sure, like, if you have a well water, you know, there's a lot of things that go into it. Just getting like Jonesy was saying, you just go get a lot. You know, you got to know what you can do on it before you get it.
Oh, the truth mill.
Look at Chad.
Put it down, Chad. Put it down.
Don't make me go apple pie.
Say hi to the people. This
man
brought
you.
What up?
This is my youngest, Jace. Wait, get your head over here so you can. Hey.
What's nothing like you, Chad.
He brought me my grub. I got turkey, brisket, green beans, corn souffle, mashed potatoes. Let's go. It's
an awful lot of meat you got there, Chad.
Awful lot of what? Awful lot of what?
There's awful. I said, there's an awful lot of meat that you're eating there, Chad. Pause.
Oh
well.
Damn.
This is
protein. Want to order some of this Milo or Milo tea.
Trisha knows. Trisha's not about all that bullshit. She's just talking about I got a handsome little man. Trisha tried to kidnap him when she was over here. She came for 4th of July last year. She tried to walk away with him. I didn't let her. But anyway. No, so he brought me my plate. I'm gonna go ahead and grub down. Y'all keep talking.
Wait. Can we talk about how this young lady murks her abductor, and like she has to spend time in prison? But
wait, what?
Like,
is that what we were talking about?
Yeah, we were talking about earlier.
There was a young woman during the Rittenhouse trial. There was a young lady who killed her trafficker, a young black girl. She was like 17, and she killed her trafficker that was pimping her and abusing her, and she was on trial for intentional homicide during this.
That's only some Centoya Brown shit.
Yeah.
I forgot her name.
It's a double standard right there.
I don't know, but it got absolutely no coverage, no crowdsource trying to pay for her lawyers or anything like that.
White liberals don't care about that shit.
No, of course not. They put Black Lives Matter in their yard though.
Yeah, they care enough to do that.
You see the sign.
Well, I'm not lying. I get since the end of the protest, I've gotten countless number of really hateful to death threat style messages, everything in between, for my views, because of the white liberals that were out there while we were leading protests. They're literally just there to pretend and there to front. They say they're for this, but they're not. They're for their own thought. They're for whiteness and blackness in accordance with whiteness. That's how they act. You say something pro-black, they come at you.
That's how they got you hemmed up, right? I mean, they went to your job and
they went to my job, and
none
of them fools supported me. That were out there kneeling and putting their hands in the air, you know what I'm saying, symbolically talking about we with there, chanting Assad Shakur, talking about we gonna get free when we break our chains. Like, man, fuck out of here with that shit. That's the double standard. They don't care about that. They see that black girl get locked up and they keep on scrolling.
Crystal
Well, you know,
Kaiser.
that's
Yancy. Oh, what happened? Oh, I
What's going
thought
on?
we done at the same time.
Yes.
What up?
What's up, Yancy?
Hey!
What's going on, fellas? I was just stopping through, man. I had to make a grocery store run. I was like, oh shit, it's about that time. I need to drop on in.
Nice. Welcome aboard, brother.
Make it, man.
Oh, Yancy
Yeah.
sound like AnarcHotep's daddy dress.
Oh, hell no.
Oh shit, that was funny.
Hey,
I'll tell you what, Yancy, your episode of Aquarian Anarchy has gotten a lot of people thinking in my area about
Yeah.
what we can do to do what you're doing here.
Yep.
There are my son is already looking at putting trailers in on his property. We're already starting that build, and I just want to say thank you for putting that little piece of the puzzle in for me. Because I've started preparing to do similar things myself. My son is doing similar things, and then we're eventually going to cooperate and work together. So I just want to thank you while I had the chance to talk to you and say that really inspired me, and it's also inspired many of the people in my family.
Inspired
Hotep
people
and
like
Bill.
that too.
hey, great, man. I mean, because what's crazy about it, man, is I was always hesitant to even like jump out there and just talk about stuff like that because it's not really something a lot of people is willing to do. Because even people that come to our land, just for anything, what type of work, anything, they be like, man, is this all family? They think we rent it out. I'm like, no, this all family. They quickly ask, like, how did you even do that? Well, it was like, it's bigger than if the adults got issues, that ain't got nothing to do with the kids. That ain't got nothing to do with the lineage we trying to build. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and at the end of the day, it's just like if your neighbors that you live on the block with. If you don't like a neighbor, you ain't got to go talk to them. You ain't got to go to their house. You see what I'm saying?
Big fact.
So it's not a
Right.
big complication like how can you live with family? It's like, nah, look, we building something. That why is bigger than the petty differences if there is differences.
I mean,
Trying to do that in
For
Maryland.
sure.
everybody got their differences. It's just if they're willing and they're mature enough to put them to the side. Everybody's got their 2 cents, and they want to make sure that their 2 cents are shinier than the others in this day and age because everybody's opinion matters. Apparently, I'm not trying to degrade anybody and their knowledge that they want to bring, but it depends on if it's the proper type of knowledge.
Right.
So
And people think just because like you disagree, that means you can't work together or that means you can't build. That's not true at all. You know what I'm saying? Because you're dealing with other human beings, or whether they friends, family, or strangers. You ain't got to agree to everything. Shit, you ain't got to agree on 10% of things. We just like, look, can we build together? That's the thing.
That's the whole purpose, though. It's like my ideology doesn't fit with everybody in this room, but the goal of mine fits with everybody in this room. So therefore, at the end of the day, we all are looking at the same target. It just depends if I'm farther away, or I want to be ignorant and turn my back to the target and look at you with your gun. You feel me? So it's
but being able to put that stuff aside is like a superpower. Like being able to put the little petty stuff aside and actually find that common vision as a goal, as a North Star is a superpower to me.
That's Hotep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. And what's
That's the
crazy is
beauty of
I'm
Hotep
gonna
Nation,
and I'm gonna shout out Trey because you know what? At the end of the day, like me and Trey, we how we started interacting was Felicia's timeline, and he was kind of going at Felicia a little bit, and I was just talking to him or whatever, and it's like we weren't in line in agreement or whatever, and I didn't even really know what Hotep really was at the end of the day, but until I met him, but it's like, well, I've been raised like this forever. You see what I'm saying? So it made sense to me. And I was like, damn, I'm glad I met people of the same mindset on the same wavelength, even if we don't agree on everything. But you know what? We got one vision and we can move forward.
Yeah, that's the purpose of it all. The purpose of building, I'm fairly sure, back in the day of Native Americans when there's tribes and everything, and not just tribes, family matters. Like not everybody's family politics all align. Like I have a whole bunch of liberal-minded family, and I'm not knocking at them, but if I were to sit down and preach to them about the whole goal is building, maybe they'll put their politics to the side and look at the bigger vision. But it's if they're willing to put what they believe their truth. It's like you define somebody's truth as going against everything that they stand for in a degree. Now, if
Yeah.
you learn to get over you automatically the human innate nature of, you know what, I'm not even going to do it like that, because some people just like are okay with being ignorant and always growing. No shots to the people older, but one thing that I've noticed with the older generation, and probably older than you guys, is that if they had to be right, you feel me? Like if you weren't right, then it's like a shut up type shit. Like, nah, don't question me.
Right.
There's not always a need. It's okay to be older and be ignorant because we always learning. You're never at your peak. And that's why when I hear people that are in their 60s and 70s or even 40s, when I like they say, oh well, you know, I'm at that age and I'm done. And I'm like, shut up. You're not. You're really not. You have so much to do and so much to grow, but you're limiting yourself because you believe that all things around you have been telling you, oh yeah, you're too old to do this and to do that. There's too many motivational stories of people in their 60s, and they fucked up all the way up to their 60s, and they're like, I can turn this shit around, or I can build myself for better.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about if you got that grit, that gusto, that discipline, and that mindset, and it's putting those people in those positions of that mindset. I was going back and forth with my dad about how with the black community, where it's like he was saying, oh well, why is it that, you know, black people aren't standing up and being able to do this and that? And I'm like, well, first off, Dad, you gotta take in degree that they've been fucked up for so long, and they had, and I was, you know, pointing on points that he knew about, but he was only shining the light on the negative shit. And I'm like, you know, the reason why it happens is because the mindset, the environment, and the experiences that the individual goes through. Are you willing to help that individual get past that experience, that mindset, and their lifestyle, and invest back into those communities to help another community grow? Are you willing to do that? And well, he's like, yeah, but you got to start with the individual. And I'm like, absolutely, because it's individual, then household, then community, then society.
Right.
So it's a learning curve for everybody. It's a learning curve.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Totally agree. My mom was on the side of my mom's, like I said, we from Chicago, so my mom's she was look, we vote for Democrats, right? That's how she was. She was on that way for a while. Until we got out here, and I was just started talking to her, just like I would just start asking her questions, really, like why, like tell me from where we from, tell me what was good about voting for them. You know what I'm saying? How did they help? It was just simple questions. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm not saying vote right or left. I'm just asking you, what did they do? Tell me what was great about it. How did it work? And I was like, and if you can give me a valid answer of how it helped us personally, or even people around us, then okay, I'm rolling with you. And she said an X. She just said it was like, and she got back to me in about like 8 days. She's like, I said I thought about what you said. And she said, no, ain't nothing that I can recall really helped. Right. I said, my point exactly. I said, look, I'm not trying to shit on nobody politics or how you feel. I ain't trying to be right, and I ain't trying to say you wrong for doing what you needed to do. But I'm saying I'm just asking questions of why do we put our loyalties to people who don't help us?
You know, it's like the Stockholm syndrome. You and also society being stuck on, okay, well, let me follow this trend. If I'm stuck in this area, let me follow this trend, and you know, hopefully things will turn out for the better. Everybody who is stuck on the hopefully train is going to be disappointed, because hope, not to disregard anybody's beliefs in hope, but hope leads to hopelessness at times.
Mm-hmm. So hope deferred. Hope, that's what I'm saying. And that's when you depend on politics and government. It's deferred a lot. And that's when black people become, or I'm just say humans. That's when humans become hopeless. And when they depending on something else, they hope is in something else besides themselves or their community, their family, or their group. When you hoping and believing in something that's out of your control, and that's not in front of you, because I'm like this. Here's the thing: how you in $1 million and $1 trillion business deal with somebody that you can't go check?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That makes no sense at all. So how am I going to sit here and say you can speak for me, my community, my family, and you go do right by us, and I can't come see you when you fuck up?
That's right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'll never fall for that. That's why I'll never fall for that. Oh, we gonna hold the politicians accountable. How? Can you go to their crib?
You feel me?
That's my favorite statement. Oh, we got to hold them accountable. We that's what we got to do. And how has that been working so far?
Yeah,
For
sure.
You know,
You just wag your finger at them and say, "Hey, I'm still going to vote for you, but I'm not happy right now."
I don't like hearing politics on
That's
certain
how you hold them
things and how you
accountable.
handle. Like,
That's
no,
right.
you don't wag your finger at a child. Sometimes you got to give them that towel. You feel me?
Yeah.
Now,
Exactly.
I don't always necessarily believe in that form of discipline, but like at the end of the day, there's light measures you need to take, or there's medium measures you need to take, or more aggressive measures you need to take. It just depends on which one's going to be more effective to the situation.
Hey, if somebody's stealing millions of dollars from me, they need their ass whooped. That's what I'm saying. That's all.
Right.
Ain't no. I'm gonna take my vote away from you. Hey, no. Hey, come on. I need to come over to your crib. Open the door. I'm outside.
Hey, come meet me. Right quick. Let me give you. Let me give you this pet talk.
Yeah. You know
right.
Well, and it doesn't only have to be. Would you give them money? Would you choose to give them money? Would you go out of your way to help these people that not only are not helping but are dramatically hurting you? No, you do things like, build your own community. You make them irrelevant. You do everything you can to make them to where they don't have an impact on you. If you have a violent ass neighbor, you build a fucking fence. At the end of the goddamn day, you do whatever you can to hold them accountable by making them irrelevant to your life. So I think that what we're doing, and I'm talking about everybody on this screen, everybody that's been on this screen tonight, and all of the people that have been on our show outside of tonight's broadcast. What we're doing is we're saying, all right, you aren't here to help me. I'm sorry. Goodbye. You don't
even got to say sorry.
Sorry is sometimes good. You're an evil bastard. I'm sorry for that.
Kick rocks till you bleed.
I think that's the main difference between hope and faith. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people who hope the supply chains hold up. I have faith that I'll be able to fill my freezer regardless.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the big difference between hope and faith. People can have hope all they want. I have faith. I like to look at it like we need to accept the circumstances, but propel yourself to thrive in those circumstances. That's what's so awesome about like how Cannon. I mean, I won't speak for him, but I know he didn't grow up hunting or anything like that. He got into this stuff a little bit later in life, which like I'm blessed to come from a place where like it's necessity, but like his journey's like really inspirational to people who might not have grown up in that situation. I ask him stuff now that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because he completely just engulfed himself in that lifestyle. And now he has faith that when shit hits the fan, he ain't got to worry about no supply chains.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference between hope and faith. I don't need to hope for anything because I have faith in my abilities that I'm prepared to thrive in circumstances wherever they go.
No, I totally agree, man. Moving outside the city limits. Like I said, I'm a city. I was born a city kid. Chicago, then moved to Minnesota, St. Paul, Minneapolis. Texas when I got down here to Texas when I moved to the outskirts. So I went on my first hunt about August 14th. My first hunt, I hunted for a hawk. I got two, and it was so dope. It was a crazy experience. I had to get used to actually shooting at animals. And tracking and stuff like that. But I'm gonna tell you, it's a skill that I'm glad I learned, and I love it. Like even like right now, like my AR's in the back, my bow's in the back. I was driving down the road because I left my land, and the deer crossed the road. I get out the car, I'm ready in my bow because I'm trying to get it, but it hopped over the damn fence. And you know what I'm saying? And so my wife was like, "So what you was gonna do with it?" I was like, "Well, that's meat." I'm like, "We can eat."
You feel me? Months of food.
Yeah, we can
primal.
eat.
It's primal. Like once you learn that, like it's primal. Like we have a primal instinct to be able to provide for ourselves outside anyone else doing it for us. You know, so when you learn those skills and you apply them to your life, like you appreciate it so much more. You know,
Well, it also takes away, I think, some of that transfer of life force, I guess, that sort of comes from that, where like when you can go to the store and pick that stuff up out of the freezer or whatever, it's not the same respect for that animal that you have when you've actually gone out there and done the deed yourself.
It's like
I know what you're talking about. I pray over the grocery store every time I buy.
But look,
do you really
wave over a hot Walmart?
But like
that's great.
That's to the core. Once you've learned the acceptance of what taking life is, you're so much more grateful for what is on your dinner table at the end of the day. You take away from, you can pray over your food, not disregarding anybody in their faith and praying over the food, but praying over the animal you just took in a life from and being grateful that this will be able to keep not just you, but other people and their bellies full is an exhilarating experience. And I have yet to experience it. And I'm pissed that I have it, but at the same time, I'm still grateful for the fucking Walmart and grocery stores that are around me. But if you can, go find you a local dealer who gets the meat. You feel me? Go find a farmer's market.
A gay drug dealer. Got it. Dealer again.
Oh my gosh, this guy. Chill, Marcus.
Pause. So like,
yeah, go ahead, Augustus.
Yeah, I just wanted to say like some of the earliest forms of hunting and shit was like before bows and arrows were created, they were making traps. Right? And
trapping.
One of the earliest forms of hunting was where they would like trap a bird of prey and then train the bird of prey to come back to the owner when the owner has like food in its hand. But it would also train it to like get the prey. So it'd be like you see like a fox or something. You would let the bird see it, and then the bird would go and get it, kill it, and then you go catch up to it. And by the time you get there, you gotta then hook the bird and then remove it from the animal. And then you either, like, if it's not already dead, you should kill it right away and shit, put it out of its misery. But I thought that was always super dope concept because it's like, like legends would say, like they would be even able to have like a psychic connection with the animal, and like that's super dope to think like that,
well, and you definitely get that with an animal,
made, like beyond like just person to person. It could be like a creature to another creature, and that like if you was able to like see through its eyes and shit. Y'all ever heard of like remote viewing?
Yeah, like that Brandon Stark shit off of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, all that fly shit, dude. It's like
the humans are hardwired to do
this.
this.
Years ago, they were really doing that shit, man, and it's like crazy. And I just think it's like real honorable because it's like a lot of work that goes into being able to have that kind of a connection with the bird, and it's like not like a bow and arrow or a gun or anything like that. So it's just different, it's like animals training other animals to take other animals' lives and shit. I just think that cycle right there is like so intimate.
No, it is. That's why I got my Cane Corsos. That's why I got Cane Corsos. And that's why I don't know if I told y'all that. I don't think I was last time, but I'm in I'm in a 2-year apprenticeship doing falconry.
Falconry.
Yeah, they teach you all that, but like with hunt, like something similar is the hunt dogs. Yeah, it's a 2-year apprenticeship. That's the thing. It's a 2-year apprenticeship, but it's super dope. It's super dope. I like it because I love birds. You know what I mean? But you teach them all those things, but as well as hunting. Yeah, and as well as hunting dogs. That's why I got Cane Corso. You know what I'm saying? you train your dogs that way too. When you out hunting, it's like, hey, go get that hog. You know what I'm saying? Or go get that. And you know what I'm saying? When they kill it or they trap it, you go do what you need to do.
That's what I
And
need.
I, and like I think it's dope, man. Like I've totally dove head first into this. I say country living, but it's really just kind of like survival type of thing. Living on your own. Yeah.
That should be natural living.
Bro, I just interviewed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on the day that JFK got assassinated, but he's the he's the head falconer commissioner for the state of New York. And I'm cool with his son, Robert F. Kennedy III. And he had told me whenever I got like the part of my life or whatever where I could take the 2-3 years out to dedicate my life to falconry.
Yep.
We could do it in upstate New York, get the apprenticeships and all that, bro. Like, it's cool to meet you, bro. Like, I really admire that, bro. That's super dope. Like, I don't know anybody else that's into that.
I say do it, man. I say do it. What's great, they go test you because they want to know that you want to really do it because it takes dedication. You know what I'm saying? And it takes you be like, well, 2 years. Why it take 2 fucking years? But it's like, you learning commands on how to bond with an animal, you know what I'm saying, and other little shit. And it's pretty dope. I like it. I can't wait till it's over so I can go get my own raptor or hawk, whatever.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
imagine when, like,
that's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's dope. Imagine like when shit hit the fan and you got a falcon flying around you like a fucking extra
fucking drone. You got a drone on your drone like ready to hit.
Give me some mushrooms with the fucking bird, and next thing you know, you like see through the bird.
Right. Well, I need to learn how to trap that way I can catch a nigga with guns since I'm a felon. You know, when I gotta catch a nigga with some guns that way I can get his guns. You know?
I tell everybody, I'm like, look, it don't matter how I'm gonna get you. Whether I got you with a bow, I got you with a rifle, I got animals. Which I got an air and land. What you want to do?
You're gonna be like Morgan and walk dead in the woods.
You're like,
I tell you what, though,
dive bombing people.
Hunting is a culture, though, man. Like, it was funny. I have a lot of friends that were from the city, and big shock, I was from the country. And but I'd go pick up my friend. His name was Jacob, and we'd bring him back into the Greene County, into the depths of Indiana where there's hillbillies everywhere. And he'd be alongside of the road. There'd be a big like truck with a bumper's got a big dent in it, and there's Billy Bob out in front just cutting up that deer. He's sawing off some shit, and so my friend Jacob's like, what the fuck is going on over there? And I was like, they hit a deer. And he was like did they call the insurance? Hell no, they've got dinner for
you
them.
can't let the deer go to waste.
Exactly.
Totally.
You gotta get the meat.
Yeah,
you gotta preserve it.
Plus, that deer earned that. Like,
Out here,
those deer, like, you can try to avoid them, they still take you out.
Right? Ain't my fault that motherfucker ain't look both ways before he crossed the street.
Bro, I had a dude, like, they had one. He tried to jump over. He like caught like the windshield, shattered the windshield, like dragged across the side view mirror and everything. Deer just like, he's going down the road. Deer just jumped over his car while he's going 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, we get hit by the deer out here. That's like the joke around here. We don't hit deers; the deer hit us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Out here, there's elk that we have 4 major herds, and the largest one, they terrorize our neighborhood. For real, they chase the males. The males chase people into their cars. They hit cars. They cause traffic jams. And they destroy your backyard. They just live wherever they want for the season, and it sucks because when they get hit, you're not even allowed to eat them. So if someone hits one at night, which is out here in Evergreen, is really possible to hit one of these dudes if you've never driven out here, and you pop around the corner, you have to leave it there while wildlife comes and get it, and they dispose of it.
No, they take that shit for themselves. They take that shit for themselves.
Storing venison is delicious.
It is,
but they don't want people to start hunting them up here because when I say they're out here for real, I mean it's like walking through New York. When the elk come down, they're in your spot for real. So wherever you drive is dictated on wherever the male's not at.
They can't hit that. They can't hit that arrow. Hit his ass.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
That broadhead would be like, bloop. They'd be like, what happened, sir? It ran right into the arrow.
Hey, listen. Some of them elk. It takes a expert archer to knock some of them males down. The old males,
definitely,
real brittle ones. It's harder to get them, but them young males, yeah, for sure. But them old niggas, ooh-wee.
Well, plus those things probably weigh like damn near half a ton, huh?
They're
not heavy, yeah.
If you gonna drop them within like 50 yards, you got to get a heart shot.
Yeah, they're massive. They're bigger than my SUV. Some of them are as big as my SUV. I've never seen a moose before, but I could only imagine what it'd be like to stand in front of that. Because when you stand in front of a male elk, it's big.
Yeah. Chest is 7 feet by itself.
You hit one of those and their legs break off and the body falls into the windshield. And die.
Oh yeah,
that's no good.
I bet.
Yeah, it's just you got so big, it just snaps their body right off their legs.
Yo,
they banned hunting with dogs here in California a couple years ago, and so now like we're running into a really bad issue with bears because people aren't able to harvest the bears like they used to because the dogs come in really handy. Up in the North State, people would run dogs, we'd get a lot of bears, and our cougars are out of control, and we have no way to mitigate cougars, and it's just like destroying our blacktail population. Like,
you have cougar meat yet?
I heard cougar backstrap is some of the best meat ever. Steve Ranella, the guy who does the Meat Eater podcast, he said that cougar backstrap was the best meat he's ever had. I haven't eaten cougar, but that's what
you
he
hear
said.
what Steve Ranella said about what happens when they introduce wolves into the wild?
Oh yeah.
Because they did that here in Colorado
right? Yeah.
Wolves?
Yeah, just recently. No one's believing me. I was like, they did that in California, and it changed the whole population.
The ecosystem gets flipped on its head when they do that.
Yeah, there's the wrong way to do it.
Yeah, so the wolf population has decreased in some areas, and it used to be a lot larger throughout all of North America. And so what they did was they started reintroducing wolves in strategic places because a healthy predator population can equal a healthy fauna and a healthy like a green population as far as how good your forest or whatever is. And so they reintroduced them, but they didn't take into account the way the world is now, and so they make babies at a crazy rate. They have a overabundance of food, and so they end up going far into territories that traditionally humans have driven animals to. So now all of your bears and cougars that used to live in one spot, well, they're no match for a pack of wolves, so they move territories and come closer to us.
To humans. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
They won't compete. They'll just migrate. They won't compete. They'll just migrate. Yeah.
And so that's
because you got people in a bureaucracy making decisions instead of somebody in your local government or your local hunting club or whatever saying, hey, let's go take care of this, and here's how we're going to do it, because every community is different and every solution for that community is different. Instead, you've got a bureaucrat in the capital city of state A, and that bureaucrat has made a decision. He ain't never hunted in his entire fucking life, has no idea anything about the different species and how they interact. This is just
or he's a former poacher who gets the wildlife and fisheries job because he was a poacher, and he's like, hey, this guy knows where the bodies are buried.
Happens in centralization.
Yeah. But hey, guys, I'm about to jump off. I had a lot of fun.
We can this down.
Yeah, we can probably start wrapping up. Unc is live already with Uncle Hotep Factor, so I don't want to step on his audience.
Hey, I just wanted to bring up like one thing when we were talking about like kind of unplugging. One thing that was like really cool about going to Vegas and meeting everybody who did go. Kind of in social media, you kind of tend to live behind the screen, and you tend to think like everything's a facade for the most part. The interactions we have, the community that we interact with, when we went to Vegas, I don't think I touched my phone once those 3 days. And those interactions, like we did the live podcast, we did the interviews with each other, and it was like the most authentic experience I've ever had meeting quote unquote strangers. And I think that this is like one of the only communities where I can vehemently say that like the people that you speak to here are the same people in real life. And because we met and like we went out and got lunch like immediately, and it was such a weird experience because like we didn't miss a beat, and there was no awkward. There was none of that.
Right.
It was one of the most authentic experiences I've ever had.
It was so cool to see. Like it was like it's like we had all been friends forever, and then we just finally got to get back together again. You know,
went to that shady ass deli next door.
Yeah,
y'all see, I never went to that place.
It was
I
good,
didn't go to
though.
that place, but y'all came back with that
It
stuff
was
in the
good.
little thank you bag
It
or
was
whatever.
alright. It wasn't bad. It was a hole in the wall, but they were selling crystal meth out the back. I could tell you.
He had doing something. Russians and tracksuits.
So,
I'ma
hopefully,
holler
I
at
can
y'all,
make it
yo.
to that next year.
Yeah, man. Peace, Cannon. Thank you for coming through, man.
Love,
Yeah. Peace, Augustus. Thank you for coming through. Thank you, everybody, for coming through.
For sure.
We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. This is pretty fun. An experiment that I didn't know how it was going to go, but I've really enjoyed getting to Cam's point just now. Like we kind of did something the next best thing to that. Like this wasn't like us being in person, in the flesh, but you got to see all these different voices interact and all these different ideas and different approaches and it was we all got along, but like we had this conversation. You go back and watch this episode. This conversation spanned quite a breadth of different areas of knowledge and study and just like kind of our perspectives on things. And it's been a blast. I love you guys. Really appreciate it. And really thankful for all of you for being a part of this community that we've been trying to build and trying to help further. And we want to support. Go check out all of our guests, all of their stuff. I didn't put all the stuff because I didn't know who all was going to come through, but I'm going to go through meticulously and put like links in the show notes so that in posterity this thing will have everybody's links and everything. Go support the people who you saw on this podcast, support their work and check out what they're doing, because it's a bunch of awesome people doing a bunch of things their way, and they're pretty dope. So thank y'all again.
Absolutely.
None but love. Much love. 2 shares.
All right, y'all.
Speed the spread.
Yes, that's
Hit
right.
the subscribe button. Hit that like button.
Yeah.
Tell a friend, and then tell a friend to tell a friend about this podcast.
Yeah, feel
man. Peace
and all the
build.
Hotep Bill, guys.
Thank you, Trey, Yancy, Hotep Dutch, Cam, and for Nico and Marcus, I'm Chad. And you know what we say.
Stay free.
Stay free.
Peace.